The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios' Windy City After Dark live Q&A. I am, of course, your storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I'm Relyn Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat. And in Windy City After Dark, I play Jacqueline Duran of Clan Ventrue.
And I'm Lady Merowith, and I play Eleanor Thurston in Windy City After Dark. Clan Malkavian.
I am Mandy, also known as the Lifesaber. I play Destiny Star Jones, fondly known as the Tosferatu, Kaitif.
I'm Urian, and I play Roscoe Akers, Clan Tremere, in Windy City After Dark.
Mickey is muted.
I am
He's
Mickey.
new to it.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Mickey. I play Samuel Grant in Windy City After Dark.
I'm Gavin, and I play Lamar Cade of Clan La Sombra. Good evening.
Now I was muted. That's great. This is the night of the mutings. As everybody knows, we like to do these at the end of each season as a way for the viewers and anyone who watches the season, if they have any questions, because though we're in chat, we've learned that not every question gets asked. And we do these so that not only the viewers can ask, but the players, I've learned, don't ask each other these questions normally. So please, if you are in chat, you have a question and you have channel boons, select the little boons icon in the bottom left corner of the chat window and select highlight my message, because it makes it better chances that Relyn will notice it when the questions come up, because otherwise it's going to be hard to notice.
Otherwise, do tag me. I am Mama McStabber in Twitch chat if you do not have the channel boons because you haven't been a follower long enough to accumulate them. You go ahead and tag me in Twitch chat. I have chatted in the chat, so you are now able to tag me, and that way it'll get my attention to it.
And I'm going to open up with the first question because I'm the storyteller and I'm just like that. I get to be pushy because I do have a question for my players, and it's an important question to me. Now that we've done Season 2 is over, Mickey, you can give your opinion, even though you haven't really been fully part of this yet for the pertaining to this question. But is there any part of your story that we told in Season 2 that you would rather have gone a different way, or you didn't see really being pertinent to your story, though it was your story, part of what I made your story, because as everyone knows, it is the player's story, but Shanky puts a Shanky twist on everything. And I'm just curious, from the player's point of view, it's a way for me to get feedback indirectly. Just call it passive-aggressive feedback on the players about whether they feel we hit the right notes for their characters. And we're going to start with my wife on this one, because I asked the question.
God. Jesus Christ. He wants to get your
shots in now. Get him in, baby.
He wants to get brutalized right off the bat, because those of y'all who are a part of our Discord know I don't pull any punches with my husband. Honestly, most things that happened around my character or relating to my character this season was appropriate for her story, but I will say I did not enjoy the direction that the Aluk situation went in. At all. That basically closed off an entire fucking branch of her connections because of his behavior.
And I will acknowledge that's 1,000% valid, to be honest. But, okay. Next person.
Are we going in the order?
Yeah, we'll go right around the table in order. So that means Devin's
Okay,
chance.
I was going to say, are we doing nose goes? Like,
yeah, it's next for the player who generally doesn't seem to complain about anything I do to her and just goes, yes, bring in more spooky shit. Oh, shit, yes.
Well, that's why I'm like, oh no, I mean, everything seemed appropriate and worked. I feel like a number of things that happened in this season were laying groundwork for the next season and upcoming. So I may have more feedback later, but for this one, I think everything like worked. It there's nothing really that I would think, oh well, I wish that had gone different. I mean, except for like, oh, this could have gone way worse, which would have been fun, but probably good that it didn't. So.
And for those that don't understand when Devin says that, she suggested to me afterwards, even Lance brought up to me about some of the scenes where it could have gone worse, and they were both expecting it, and they were disappointed I didn't make it worse. Lance brought up to me in his pickup truck about the book. When your spirits touch the book, Lance goes, the next weekend, he comes to me, we're riding around going to dump, and he literally told me, I was expecting her to get a lot more further back in time and to find out some really fucked up shit happened with that book. And I'm like, come on, really?
Yeah, really.
I mean, yeah, would have been cool, but probably better that didn't happen.
That's on you now, Destiny.
I don't think so. I mean, it's hard for me to separate like what could have happened from what did happen, just because the way that my brain interacts with the character, like it'd be very hard for me to think of like what I wanted something to happen differently. I feel like everything that has happened so far is pretty true to who Destiny is and where Destiny's going, and I can only control Destiny, so you control the other parts. I can't control what you do with the other people, and it just shapes who Destiny is. It's kind of the way that I've always approached it.
So now we go to Roscoe. Lance.
I don't have any trouble at all. We've had a chance to talk about, upcoming story directions and what we like. I really don't have any problem with it. We get a chance as we're going along to talk about it and adjust the rails that Shanky, makes us stick rigidly to. I'm kidding about that. He really does let us play the characters we want, and I have no complaints.
And Mickey, you're a viewer, but as a viewer, that puts you in a different perspective because now you're cast, you are a viewer. The same question can be asked to you, but is there anyone, since you have only just started, is there anyone's story you've watched that you wish could have gone better? Because you now have the unique perspective of being both a viewer and fan, and now suddenly in the cast.
Okay, then I'm going to go around the table.
That's valid.
Sorry to hog up so much time here. Jackie, I wanted her to fucking like walk into the room, have Waneka having Delilah tied to a chair, have Jackie walk into the fucking room and just be like, "Yeah, I did this to you." Blah. Devin, excuse me, Eleanor. Pardon me. Eleanor. The guy, Ralph. Sorry, having to remember stuff on the fly here. Ralph. Oh, I wanted you to fucking wreck his shit.
Oh, she did. Just wait.
No. Like, just because there's the immediate gratification of just like give him a little cut or something, just like. Yeah, now leave him alone. Something to that effect. Just give him something to remember you by. Destiny. I wanted a piece of that pimp because, and I was screaming it in the Zoom chat. Yeah, die scared, motherfucker. Because that yeah, fuck that guy. But I'm glad that you fucking, you gave it a little twist. So, it's like that. It's like that scene in Sin City. He'll only feel it if she wants him to. She twists the blade. He feels it. Deadly Little Destiny. Urian Bosco. Welcome home.
Okay. All right. I take back what I said.
Now, for those who don't understand that comment, that actually sparked a cast chat discussion.
Yes, it
because
did.
When Roscoe said "Welcome home," some of the players interpreted that as Roscoe giving away the city that Sam was from, whereas Roscoe actually meant it as one of the old "Welcome home" when you go to a hotel when you're greeted, "This is your new home." But the way, and it was a heated discussion actually, and I flat out said that people would have. I personally took it as him outing him.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show that each person meant it and heard it and interpreted a different way, that your kindred would do the same.
And it's really funny, but sorry to interrupt, but just to add on to that, I actually rewatched like the last 15, 20 minutes of the finale last night because I wanted to check something that I had said and during the finale, because I knew I'd intended to say something, but I was under a lot of anxiety in character at that moment, so it kind of messed up my words. And because I was wanting to see what my lips were saying, and I realized, it was actually like a conglomerate of two words that came out really weird because of my anxiety. And because I have a stutter, yay. But but I actually, in that moment, when Roscoe said that, as Jackie, I said, "Home?"
Home?
And nobody answered her. Nobody.
No.
So she's assuming that he got outed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was totally not my intent, but that's how it went. So
hey, and that's fine. Mickey has zero problem with it. Sam's going to have words with you.
Yeah. Well, that'll be story.
You're Bosco and Sam, they've got the relationship that can weather this little
faux pas.
Faux pas, thank you. And very easily, like, no, don't even worry about that. This ain't
we'll roll around on the ground. We'll few punches here and there. It'll be fine.
Oh no, you don't want that. Sam's just gonna be like, really, Bosco? You still can't keep your mouth shut? God damn it! And that's gonna be that. My man Lamar, the number of times I have sat there and watched you take and take and take, and I've been sitting there. I'm like, one of these days, there's just gonna be this great opening maw into the abyss. It's going to open up behind who's ever talking shit to Lamar, and Lamar is just going to, and then Lamar is going to be like, guess what? You fucked around? Find out. Tentacles wrap around, pull them into the abyss, and doorway closes. That's going to be that. And
someday,
I for one am looking forward to it. because watching I mean, that's one of the reasons that was informative to why I made the character I made, was so that there was a little bit more consideration was going to be given to the threat that this coterie represents, and is the juice worth the squeeze if we go after them? Not anymore.
So now we're on Lamar's for his story.
In terms of Lamar's story, thus far, I actually don't feel we've scratched really much of the surface with that, because he has been backing up a lot of the coterie with their stories. That's something I hope to see in season 3. But thus far, I mean, I've enjoyed where things have gone, even when it's been like that's going to come back, isn't it? That's going to be a problem. Okay.
And we're not going to spoiler it here, but mentioning that Relin and I have to have a talk with you.
Yes.
This coming week, because we were up until 4:30 in the morning again last night, because we were brainstorming some future plot stuff that's going on.
Yes.
And some story threads that both were set in motion by guest players, myself and Relin, that have a certain outcome that is in some ways predetermined.
Mm-hmm.
And but we found an awesome way to do this and tie into Lamar and some of your backstory in a way that is going to be amazing drama, while still satisfying certain conditions and illustrating certain rules of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I like this idea because, I sat and I've been talking to Relin about some things for season 3. So I'm
like the team plotter.
My interest is piqued.
Oh, it is. And for those who don't understand, there are some prearranged story threads.
Yes.
Now, nobody always knows all the details, because Shanky Twist is Shanky Twist.
And role play flows and does its own thing.
But the players do get to decide their story. But guest players, though they have input as their characters because they are guest players, the storyteller ultimately determines the ending, beginning, middle, and all that parts of his guest character, because they are essentially SPCs being played by other actors and other castmates. So now we can let Relin start asking questions, because they're piling in.
Okay, so we have first up the Ivy Raven. She is also a guest character in our story. She plays Abigail Rawl, the childer of Jacqueline Duran. She has a question for everyone. Is there a choice of character behavior or even costuming that you regret now 2 seasons in? I will take point on that, because yes, in first season, the first fucking wig that I got to play as Jackie was goddamn garbage. And I hated that fucker. And as soon as I could afford to replace it with a good lace front, I fucking did.
It wasn't even waiting to afford it. It was as soon as Relin said, "This wig hurts, it gives me a headache.
And it looks like shit.
Can we afford to buy me a wig?" I said, "Is it giving you a headache?" "Yes." "Replace the fucking wig, please."
Yes. But as far as behaviors, no, I feel like based on between the session 0 and the backstory / timeline I crafted for my character leading up to our very first session, from the starting gate, I was able to play true to character. She may not always be the nicest, especially when she's in an uncomfortable situation. Her arrogance is going to show more, but she isn't as bad as some other kindred out there. And I've been playing her true to that.
I guess we're on Eleanor. Devin.
I guess I don't really have any real regrets for costuming or behaviors. Though some nights getting the wig on and getting all of the jewelry on is sometimes like, why did I do this to myself? Why would I make this choice? Because I do not have the spoons to spend trying to get this together, especially if the wig decides not to cooperate. It's been very good lately.
Now you've cursed it.
I know. I've talked about it now. It's sitting over there and it's going to plot against me.
You have Steve parried your wig.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But then the tea happens.
I knocked on wood. I'll throw some salt over my shoulder here in a little bit. You'll be fine.
Excellent. Thanks. I'm glad you got my back.
So, Destiny, the lifesaver, yours?
I'm gonna, in the same vein as Jackie and and Eleanor, I had a wig at the very beginning of the Windy City After Dark, and the wig A, hurt me, B, was a piece of crap, and C, like, it just started falling apart. So I was like, well, I can't wear this anymore, and I couldn't find one that worked. So I was just like, well, natural hair it is, which my natural hair is unnatural colors sometimes. So that's the only negative, not decision or just kind of life thing, because I can't afford wigs when we're supposed to be downsizing everything right now. But as far as character decisions, I mean, Destiny is who she is. I can't control her. I can't regret decisions she makes.
I mean, that valid. Roscoe.
You know, I don't have a wig story, unfortunately. I mean, I
But
guess
you're not wearing the cowboy hat anymore, damn it.
not for this part of the story. Maybe later. It'll come out at the appropriate time. As far as character development goes, first season Roscoe was a little bit loose with the secrets. In the second season, he's been trying to be a lot better with that, but then torpedoed himself with 2 words.
Welcome and home.
Yep, exactly. So he's still going to keep working on that.
And I'm going to comment on yours real quick, Roscoe. I wish, with all the stuff going on, it's hard to juggle with 6 cast members, 5 for a lot of season 2, but it's hard to juggle all the potential storylines. And I wish, personally, we could have explored more of the Roscoe and Sun Chi dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's still the future. So,
and that is going to be something that people will see coming up, because I want to see that dynamic.
Mm-hmm. I figured it'd happen sooner or later, but, you know.
I guess Sam's exempt from this particular question, but Lamar isn't.
If anything, I would have switched, like, because I wear glasses during the stream so that I can see people, but I'm like, I wish Lamar would have worn glasses. That way I'd have a justification for actually having them on in character, because as soon as the game's over, I take them right off, and I'm like, but why do you do that? Because you still need them anyway. Other than that, wardrobe wise, I wish I did have more of a wardrobe, so I might be exploring that for season 3 for Lamar. As for in-game, originally I thought of Lamar being, much more of a leader character, but I think he's happy where he is, letting Jackie lead so that he can, shoot somebody in the face when necessary and not feel bad about it, not feel like I'm being a bad role model for everyone. No, he's like, no, she can be the role model. She can be the leader. She can be the face. If you come to Camp Wish a Motherfucker Wood, bring your compass so you know where you're going.
God damn it.
I fucking love that.
God damn it. You brought another one in.
But no, I love that you went that direction, considering you're playing a Lasombra, because they can be just as ambitious and driven as Ventrue. They are basically the other side of the same coin. So I'm glad that you went with that, where you're like, nope, I will be like second in command. She can take point.
Yeah, I like the power behind the throne a little bit more. So I'm like, I'm going to run with that.
Yeah.
And personally, as it comes to wardrobe, my only complaint is I wish my wife and Devin would quit wearing corsets. And I sure as hell wish they don't coordinate that shit.
Because boobies are his kryptonite.
That is my kryptonite. And that is my big complaint, but it's not a complaint, because really, please coordinate, please. I'm just saying that is my kryptonite, and it distracts me. And they know it distracts me because they do it and they giggle about it. The TVs fly all around the table.
They do.
Mom and Dad are going to give us all therapy bills. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. Next question is from Shade Moraquenda Ebonblade. He actually plays Joseph Kerr, the Ravnos Anarch, as a guest player in our Windy City After Dark Chronicle. He said, where did the players get the idea or inspiration for their characters? I'm not going to start this. We're going to start this with Lamar.
Mine came from one part a television character that I had a love-hate relationship with, and then also just things that I wanted to play out in Vampire that I never got a chance under other storytellers. And I'm like, I will see if I can cobble this together and, if it works. And so far it's been pretty rewarding, and I've really enjoyed the direction that Lamar's been able to take.
Which character was it?
It was a character from a TV show called Power. And if you, actually, he's the main character of book 2, Tariq. And I really enjoy.
I've
enjoyed
actually watched bits of that show.
I really enjoyed kind of his transition from being a kid to joining the world that his father tried to keep him out of.
And I'm sorry, Lamar, I see a bit of Wesley Snipes in your character too, because you do throw Wesleyisms, the one-liners he's known for. You've even said it. Some motherfuckers always want to ice skate uphill.
Yeah.
Yep, there's definitely some of that in there too. I was actually watching New Jack City the other day, and I'm like,
I'm waiting for Lamar to ask somebody if they ever play roulette, and so you could tell him always bet on black. Great, he's got the one-liners, and there's a reason everybody remembers them. So I guess we're on Sam.
Oh boy, the inspiration for Sam is multi-sourced literature, pop culture. I have pulled bits and pieces of him from several archetypes that sort of make up his function. I can't really say too much because otherwise you guys will be like, oh, we know all about him. We don't need to listen to him when he speaks. For me, creating this character was about assessing sort of the archetype. And when I say archetype, I mean like literary archetype, not vampire archetype, that each member of the coterie fulfills, and where they were less shored up in, and having that role and assuming that role and shoring up that I don't want to say weakness, because it really isn't a weakness. It was just something that they could use a little bit more of. And that was just that side of it. As far as his actual character, it's fucked up, yo, and y'all are gonna enjoy it. And this show will begin and it will end, and if you want to find out what happens in between, you got to tune in.
I guess we're on Roscoe.
Well, the name Roscoe came from my grandfather's best friend back when he was a boy growing up. And it was right around the same time that I'd picked for Roscoe to be born in real life. So a lot of his early life follows their adventures. And then most of the rest of it unfolded during our session 0, when we just fleshed out the character and made things up as we went along.
That session 0 method is very good at fleshing out from even a bare bones character idea. It creates a person. Okay.
I would like to say something real quick before you move on. Session 0, the for lack of, the McStabber session 0, watch the daggum video, use it in your games. It is primo. I have been TTRPGing for 20 plus years, and the uniqueness and the collaboration of that session, of that method, is stellar.
Thank you. And it all was born because I had 30 minutes to read the rule book. So I skimmed that section, and when I skimmed it, I misinterpreted the way session 0 should have been done. But, through mistakes, sometimes you get lucky and come up with some really good shit to do instead. So, okay, we're on the Lifesaver with Destiny.
So I was brand new to Vampire the Masquerade, and I still don't know half the rules because there's a lot of rules in this. So when I was making my character, I'm like, all right, I need to make something where if I fuck up, it's part of the character. So I chose to do a very young Kindred, and a very young Kindred who doesn't know much about the society as a whole because of the way that she was raised. So I've and the way that she was raised, actually, I didn't even choose that, because the sire choice happened during the session 0. But it actually worked out perfectly, and it lended itself very much towards the character that I was developing, and towards like the deep-seated need of wanting to know more and wanting to be like participating in things that is maybe not coming out as much in Destiny because of her walls that she has up, but you'll probably see that more and more as time goes by with this coterie and them forming bonds together.
I think when it comes to the way you were raised, Jackie said it best in season 1. You were raised as a kindred in a wartime situation. You learned to be kindred during war. And
Yes.
It's a dangerous time in war, but it's no more dangerous than it is in peace. It's just a different war in peace that Destiny is thrown unprepared, unknowledgeable into. And Jackie put it flat out. You may be able to survive war, but
you weren't taught to survive the war that is our society.
Yeah,
Yep.
not the sharks that swim as soon as the fighting's done.
Mm-hmm.
Eleanor?
Well, mostly I just really wanted to play a seer / oracle type character. That's what I started with. It's a motif and character archetype that I just really enjoy anyway, and I hadn't really gotten a chance to. I mean, I don't get much of a chance to play with other players. I'm usually the storyteller, so I was like, cool, this is the type of character I'd want to play. And that's basically the inspiration for her. I chose her name Eleanor just because I think that's a really pretty name, and also it's kind of old and old-fashioned sounding. Not many people named Eleanor nowadays, so there's that. And then her last name Thurston is English version of Thorstein, which is Thor's stone. So read into that what you will.
I'll be nice.
What inspired my concept for Jackie was a blog post I found that was written a few years ago, and I am happy to actually post this in the Windy City, the Chi-Town chat that we have, which is our public open chat for our game in our Discord server. It was a blog post I found about a Parisian apartment, which when I say apartment, it's not an apartment. It's basically a house in a building of houses. Okay. It's a gigantic freaking space. And it was abandoned since like World War II and sealed up. And it was like, they opened it, I think it was like in 2016 or 2017 or something like that. And it was like opening up a time capsule. And the apartment originally had belonged to a courtesan, a well-known courtesan in Paris. And there was a piece of artwork in there by an artist famous for doing portraits of high society in Paris. He was an Italian artist and by the name of Boldini. And it was an unknown artwork by him of this courtesan that had attestation of it through a love letter that he had sent to her. They were lovers. So the whole basis of Jackie's life came from one blog post about this fucking apartment that was a time capsule.
And a little bit of trivia on Jackie's whole thing. The cabaret.
Mm-hmm.
The cabaret is based off of a
erotic movie.
Porn. It's
not really a porn. It's an erotic movie.
Okay, an explicit, very explicit erotic movie called Cabaret Desire, where it's based around kind of like the old Red Shoe Diaries, where there's little stories. It's the stories of people in this cabaret who go table to table, and by exchanging poker chips, which you buy at the front for large amounts of money,
you pay them for their stories, and their stories are of intimate encounters.
and it's intimate encounters and those kind of things.
But
and
there was also other performances, poetry readings, and singers and things like that in this movie. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I would do this. It would be a sensory experience in this cabaret where you had the readers telling their stories, you had performers, burlesque performers, you know, maybe sometimes magicians, musicians,
pole
that
dancers,
kind of stuff.
male
No
and female.
poles, no poles.
No, but the movie had the male pole dancer who was
there's
doing
no
a very
poles in
erotic
her
dance, which was
cabaret.
interesting.
That you got to actually be proficient at dancing to dance in her cabaret.
It's her cabaret, that's fine.
But yes, and basically that I decided, you know, it would be this whole like sensory experience because she has cultivated a herd there. So she has a herd of fans, basically, in this cabaret that she can feed from when times are lean and her hunting is slim. And then she also has a predator type that leads her to being a bit of a seductress, similar to a siren. What I did for her predator type was a combination of siren and Osiris, and we tweaked it so that it was balanced based on other predator types and renamed it as Inanna, which is the Sumerian goddess of wars and love and reproduction and family and war.
And and fertility.
And fertility, yeah.
Crop and people.
Yeah. Crop and people and war. Yeah.
And we watched it. And when we watched it, afterwards I said, you know, that would actually make a great place for a vampire to own. And she goes, ooh, Toreador Ventrue. And she thought about it, she goes, no, Ventrue.
Yeah.
Because it would be too trope, too cliche for a Toreador to own it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, that's a perfect way to break that cliche, but break it in a way that's very good.
But I will say for Jackie, that was the inspiration of her, was that article I read about that apartment in Paris. It was like, I want to play this woman's life. But at the same time, I thought it would be a lot of fun for me because I like to play games or characters that address some sometimes uncomfortable or taboo topics in my role play. I like to do that. So I basically made Jackie a very ambitious sex worker. She was a courtesan. She was an apex courtesan because I wanted to show that sex work is work. It is not the stigma that gets associated with it. So.
Okay. Now, before she reads the next viewer question, anybody at the table here have a question for their fellow players they want to ask? We're going to alternate between viewer questions and table questions. If nobody does, she can go right to the next person. If you want to save your table questions, you can wait and do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess nobody has one yet.
I mean, I do, but.
And please understand, I'm not trying. I basically, I wanted, when I say there's no poles in the place, I say that it is because, not because pole dancing is fucking athletics, okay? I've seen it. I've seen it. It's fucking athletics. It's amazing. But I will say that in this cabaret, she doesn't do it because she doesn't want her cabaret classified amongst other strip clubs, because that's not what it is. So, okay. The next question is from Unconscious Celestial, and she actually plays as Roscoe's sire in Windy City After Dark, Helena Taylor, the Pontifex of the Tremere in DC. She says, who's everyone's favorite NPC?
I'm going to answer that one first because Nero is one of my favorites. He hasn't come up enough, but he is one of my favorites. And no lie, Winnetka is also, those are my top two. Because Nero's case, it's the concept of playing a kindred that is so devoid of emotion to where there's something suspicious about his lack of emotion. His humanity is so low, the beast is supposed to be ruling, not the beast is gone. And exploring that avenue of a kindred, which you don't really see, is one where the beast is not present at all. It's fun. And for Winnetka, it's him as a character is interesting because he is a diehard Camarilla supporter. Yet that doesn't mean he's a diehard Kevin Jackson supporter. And there's a unique question in that when he has the army that the first ones to really notice were Jackie and Lamar, of course. He's sitting on an army big enough that he could challenge any prince if he chose to. But a statement he made to Jackie, of all people, he supports Kevin Jackson, until someone better comes along. Those are my two. And now I'll let the players, Rylin could say she wants to answer first, but those are my answers.
We'll go ahead and start with Roscoe.
Of course.
Of course.
For NPC characters, I'm going to say Portia, because she's the dangerous spider that you have.
She's the big bad.
Yeah, you're fascinated by her, but you have to stay away.
I can see it. And you left out the other part of her. What must it be like to have that much knowledge of history? To have lived that much of history?
She's forgotten more than we'll ever know.
She lived the myths that people kind like us were taught in school. She lived them. That, from a character standpoint, is just hard to comprehend for most people. For me in particular, I will admit it's hard to comprehend it. So Rylin can go around and name people around the table. I'll let you do this.
Mickey. From a viewer standpoint, because I know you're new, who's your favorite NPC?
I mean, my favorite NPC is Sandy. Homegirl got her pimp off quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah, she did. She was good like that.
That shows a level especially for a kind, a level of mercenary ruthlessness that I can very much appreciate. I mean, I could sit here and sing the praises of several of the NPCs. The one that's fresh in my mind right now are Dolly and Martin. Bill plays Paternal very fucking well, and
behind the scenes hint, he's a real good dad too.
And if you ask our 16-year-old.
I don't think there's a 16-year-old girl on the planet that's ever going to say that they like the way that their parents are doing things.
But no, I agree. He does do that paternal role very, very well.
Astral as Philip. Well, Astral is anybody. Astral Aberration. He is fantastic. And I hope one day to play in a game with him, whether it be streamed or otherwise. I just want to freaking be around that talent and learn. That's what I got for right now, because I've been thinking about this, and like I said, what's fresh in my mind. So yeah. That's what I'm going to go with for right. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with for right now.
I am going to jump in and say real quick, my other favorite NPCs are Mal and Becky. That's all. But you all don't understand
y'all
that.
Will get to
You'll
see them
in
soon.
the memoriams.
Y'all will see them
Mal
soon.
and Becky.
All right.
1000%.
You want to talk about scaroused as hell? Mal and Becky.
The show will begin and it will end if you want to find out what happens.
Spoiling. All right. So Gavin, who is your favorite SPC or NPC?
Oh, there are so many choices. I'm going to take Tally out of the equation because I've liked Tally for years and years and years. So he kind of, he's going to be up there no matter what. Martin, I really like Martin because, it's like you think this is the moment. This is when it's all going to go to hell. And then he kind of he turned it on a dime. And it was like because
played her like a fiddle.
And I'm just like that. You go, man. That was great.
Diffused all that anger just like that. I'm like, oh, he's smooth.
Like, man, I wish. I need to buy whatever it is that he is selling because I want that.
He did not lie to her.
And that's
it was the truth, but it was smooth. It was all in delivery.
But you will also know, though he didn't lie to her, that doesn't mean he actually told her everything. Because does any kindred ever say everything?
Nope. And my other favorite SPC is Etienne. That dude is 100% solid. That is if you have to have a ghoul, you want that kind of ghoul who is 100% solid all the time and get stuff done. And, it's like, yeah, he might just say, where do you want the car parked? But if you need to, if you need to have something done,
He
You can
takes
also
care
trust
of
him
it.
with that.
He wastes no words on things that don't need to be said.
Mhm.
He says what has to be said and does what has to be done. And yes, as a ghoul, that's solid.
That's solid.
I also like
Jackie's
Zal's
got the
creepy
best
ass,
fucking
but
ghoul.
I also like Zal's creepy ass, but we'll see. We'll see more of her eventually, I think.
Mhm. All right. Mandy.
Oh, well, it's gotta be Martin. As much as I hate to say it, and as much as I don't hate to say it, it's a love-hate relationship with Martin, with both me and with Destiny, because as that scene in that final session was going on, the Mandy like was in the back of my head screaming because Destiny was like, "Oh, his child, no more anger." But I'm like, "No, god damn it, where'd my anger go? I wanted to play with that. I wanted to have more anger in the scene." But I mean, he diffused that and just played her emotions so well. And I don't even know if Destiny realizes the extent of the fact that she was manipulated. I think she knows she was manipulated a little bit, but like that was pure manipulation. So I love Martin. Martin's a genius character, a protective father, Daddy Martin's best daddy. And Wineka. I love Wineka. I love my Picasso. I love that interaction and the kind of back and forth. And I'm just waiting for the day when Wineka admits that Destiny is his friend. Just waiting for it.
And it's funny you mentioned the Martin thing because R'lyn came out of watching, R'lyn, not Jackie, R'lyn came out of watching that scene and comes afterwards and goes, "Holy shit, Martin is the most dangerous kindred in Chicago." Solely because of what lengths he'll go to
protect her.
Because R'lyn came out of it realizing Martin would burn the whole city to the ground, if that's what it took.
That he meant that.
And you'll see some bits and pieces that will give you all kinds of opinions on that statement coming up. That's a teaser. That's all you're going to get.
So, Lady Merriwith.
Well, there are many SPCs that I like quite a lot, but I can actually say now, to pin me down to one favorite, it's going to be Dolly. And I cannot wait for all y'all to see why Dolly is my favorite. Because I can't tell you.
Devin and I have talked about Dolly.
Plots have been afoot.
Yes.
As I've said, we prearrange storylines and talk storylines. You don't always get the details, but because it's Devin's story for Eleanor and Dolly, not mine. Now I have the say on what Dolly does, but you've got to work with the players because it's their story, not mine. And we had some talks, and we've got an idea of where that story goes. But none of the rest of the cast is in on it because I only like to include cast members that are involved in the thread so that all the reactions from everybody else is genuine. And then Eleanor's genuine reaction, of course, will be from whatever twist I put in, what's called the Shanky twist behind the scenes. But everyone else's reaction is going to be very genuine and holy shit.
Gonna be good.
So now we're to me.
Yeah, you've had a lot of time to think.
My problem is I can't narrow it down to even remotely one.
Well, don't then.
I can see the appeal of like Dolly and Martin and Wineka. I really can. But for my personal opinion, while they are fantastic, they truly are. Even Nero at first was one of my favorite NPCs, and I say he's no longer a favorite because there have been others that have outshone them, in my opinion. Cedric is fucking amazing. He is fucking amazing. Even what little bit that Jackie knows about him, his mind and the way it works is so fucking interesting because he can't let a puzzle go. He will figure that shit out. And he's got the brain power to figure that shit out. So he's got this gorgeous brain in his head that I'm just like, I can't wait to explore that more. That just excites me. Because he's just a fucking genius. And I'm like, I want to pull that apart a little bit and figure out what makes that tick. So that just is intriguing. And then on top of that, other NPCs I really like. In spite of it all, I actually like Kevin Jackson. That man got a fucking mess thrown on his lap and is trying to fucking manage it. And he is doing his damnedest. I actually like him. I really do. Jackie, probably not a big fan, but Relin likes Kevin Jackson. He's doing the best he can with a pile of shit, trying to make it smell like a rose. So, yeah. And then the other one, I'm going to have to give it to Astral with his portrayal of Philip. I really do. I think the reason that I like Astral as Philip is the same reason why Mandy likes when Bill plays Martin. Both of those guys are playing sires that are able to disarm their childer like that. Like that. So fucking fast. Because Jackie can't help but be real with him. As soon as he talks to her, she can't help but be real. All the armor goes away and she's her. So I fucking love that shit. And there's some shit coming with that's going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to go further than that, but it is Kindred and World of Darkness, so beautiful is often tragic.
And I will point out, if you're in our weekly Zoom calls, you may know what we're talking about, but if not, I'm sorry, you should have joined the Zoom call.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just, I love his portrayal. He plays a character that is older, but still so ridiculously suave and charming and just disarms the shit out of my character. So it's good. Good shit.
Mm-hmm. I also love watching Astral play Nolan because he plays the old, I'm not going to say jaded, but the old, very ultra conservative, very reserved in public Archon or Ventru very well. And then again, we saw the same kind of an interaction with Menta when she played an old Ventru, European Ventru in DC, where you saw this ice facade of wall between everybody in public. But when they're with someone privately they care about, all of that comes down. And you see the smile, you see the way they look at the other one, but you don't see that in public at all, ever, because they have a wall they erect, armor to protect those around them. And we've seen it with Astral. And it's amazing to watch being able to pull off the duality that is, it's not normal for human beings, and it's very difficult to run and to play convincingly. I mean, I could try it, but I don't think I can do that.
I love you, baby, but I don't think that's in your wheelhouse.
I can't put the wall up like that. The problem with me is I'm always expressive, even when I'm trying not to be. So I can't wall up like that. So.
Okay. So I think everybody answered now. I had my two, and that's Cedric and Philip. And everybody basically kind of went around the room with like Portia and all kinds of Nos, because the Nos are fucking awesome. Nos are always awesome because they're intriguing and fascinating. All right. So Shade Morquinda Ebonblade also asks, to all players and storyteller, what was your favorite encounter or scene in season 2? Let's start with Bill on that. What was your favorite one to play out or watch?
Got a bunch of them. There's just scenes that just grabbed me. The Eleanor Ben, when she comes and finds out he doesn't remember her getting the amulet. That scene was, for someone drop into it cold and without no idea this was coming. It was amazing to play that scene and to watch that play out. Jackie and Lamar in the limo after Delilah threatened Lamar. Watching the two of them come to a bond that had been building a little prior to it, but it really didn't solidify until the two of them were sitting in that limo that night. That was what actually solidified what you're seeing now between Lamar and Jackie. That was the pivotal scene where they both put cards on the table. And you saw both of them being very real, where Lamar is, he's trying to make it work, but the temerity to be threatened in your own domain by a Toreador who's not even from the city. And Jackie saying flat out that it can't be allowed to stand. It's just not acceptable. And of course, the Destiny Martin scene, that one on a personal level triggers me. It's one of my own issues is not being there for those I care about and not being able to protect them. Everyone knows my name is Bill. It's actually William is my official name. And William is the stubborn protector. That's what it actually means. That's a translation of the name. And Verlaine will tell you, I am that person. So to have a guy that failed his daughter because he could not protect her because he was caught between, does he let her cat go or not? That was a tough scene for me to do. We haven't really drilled hard with Roscoe, though I still love watching that library scene with Roscoe and Eleanor, because watching Eleanor unintentionally manipulate Roscoe around her finger, she doesn't do it intentionally. It's just who she's protected herself as for so long that she naturally does it. And Roscoe just walks right into it, just gets it. And that's a great one to watch. Winnetka, any scene with Winnetka I like. The Jackie scene with Winnetka, the Destiny scenes with Winnetka, those are a lot of fun. And I'll be honest, I liked the scene when Jonathan got eaten by Portia. And that is solely because one of the things I've said, not just with this stream, but in all my World of Darkness, is actions have consequences. And seeing a player see the consequences of their actions play out like that. And somebody had actually asked, well, why didn't you show it on screen, him getting killed? No, it actually sets a better tone to fade to black because it leaves what horrible things she did. As they tell you, sometimes the most horrible thing you can do to somebody is not tell them what happened. So there's mine. I mean, everyone has had good ones. Wait, you can get your chance in a minute, Mickey. Everyone has had good ones, and there's a bunch of them because as a storyteller, sometimes I'm in the scene, the Winnetka, sometimes I'm not. Eleanor and Roscoe, Lamar and Jackie. There's another one. The moment when you got Lamar, Jackie, and Destiny in the conference room after Delilah had been done away with.
That was such a good scene. I had no idea how that was going to play out.
There's another one that when I saw it, I was like, wow,
God
okay,
damn.
watching those three go. So there's mine. There's been a number of them, and as storyteller, I can't pick one because...
Mickey, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to caveat off what Shanky was saying. In the Bela Lugosi Dracula, they never showed like one drop of blood in that entire movie, and yet that movie horrified audiences. Nowadays you've got gore porn and all that other junk. Real terror is in what you can't see.
It's in your head.
Terror. Yep. Your mind will create a far worse scenario than you will ever see in a Eli Roth movie. And so yeah, Bill, salute.
That's why I didn't show it.
Let's go with Mandy next.
Oh gosh. I think it would have to be the scene between Destiny and Lamar when Lamar threatened her indirectly and Destiny went off on him. I think that as far as scenes to play, that was probably the most fun scenes to watch. Watching Lamar and Jackie with Winnetka orchestrate the downfall of Delilah, I was just like on the edge of my chair being like, oh boy, what's happening? Oh,
and you weren't, because you weren't even there
when it happened.
I wasn't for that recording.
For those that don't know,
her
her back was hurting. I think, no, you were sick. That was when you were sick.
Yeah.
And she couldn't make it. So she had no clue what was coming. We told her nothing about that recording.
They just told me to watch. And I was like, oh no.
You're welcome.
Like when they said that they were going to go see Winnetka, and I'm like, no, not without Destiny. No, shit, no. Like throwing the popcorn in the air, and it was an event.
Okay, Lady Merritt.
I mean, well, all y'all are a joy to play with and to watch. your scenes play out. And basically everything that's been mentioned is stuff that I've really enjoyed. I did really enjoy the amulet scene with Ben. That was really fun to play, as well as watch back and be like, wow, this was really good. I think we did a good job, y'all.
You do it. Don't,
You're amazing.
Holy shit. Lady Mirrorwolf, you never cease to amaze your castmates, your storyteller, or the viewers in how your expressions convey what your character is feeling and doing.
Oh, good. Well, good. That means I've done something right then. But other than that, yeah, Jackie Lamar tag team, like, perfect.
We are the dream team. I'm just telling you.
Jackie Destiny tag team in the club.
The epic cock block.
Yeah,
yes.
that was a lot of fun since I was not there for that recording, so I got to watch it and it was real good. Eleanor's wacky adventure with Roscoe and Lamar to Ben's shop. It's pretty great. And then Mickey, you haven't been here long. Sam hasn't been with us very long, but in the car just peeling out onto the road and what the hell did you bring me here for?
And on that scene, I do post-process because we record and I do a lot of audio cleanup. One thing I deliberately made a choice not to do was clean up the Sam size, because those size that he put in are trademark Mickey Bear. First of all, we've heard his size more than once, and it really emphasized just how frustrated he was at the time.
Hashtag Lasai.
Sometimes it's what you choose not to take out that makes the audio better, not what you do take out.
I have to say, favorite scenes for me. Oh God, there's so many. I love this. I love this game. I love the stream. I love the characters. I love the players because they're amazing and they deliver week after week after week after week. Amazing fucking scenes. But ones where I'm just like, oh shit, that was good. The Ben scene where you were, as Eleanor, you're like losing your shit. I mean, I'm so in character at the moment. I'm literally thinking, as Jackie, am I going to have to kill a fucking Thin Blood? I mean, it moved my character and me. That was so good. I loved the improv cock block. I had gone in with no fucking pre-planning or plotting with neither of the characters. I just told Gavin behind the scenes that I had something planned to protect him from fucking Kathy with a K. That's all I said. And I had not shared it with anybody. And I just did that and set that up and just looked at Destiny and character, and she picked right up on it and we went to town. And it was just such good improv. It was beautiful.
For all the guys out there that always wondered if women are psychic and can read each other's minds with a look.
That was a
watch
case.
this stream.
Yes.
You've seen it with Jackie and Destiny. You've seen it with Jackie and Eleanor. You've seen it with Eleanor and Destiny. And you've seen it just with Eleanor and Jackie. Trust me, they read minds.
That was just, I mean, I couldn't believe how well that went off, that I had done no pre-plotting on it. None. And it just went off. And then, yeah. Goddamn, I love that car scene with Lamar. Anytime I get a chance to play Jackie with Lamar, it is just a fucking treat. It is really a fucking treat because those two are powerhouses. And the fact that they can generally see eye to eye because they've worked through their fucking differences at this point, that's just so fucking delicious. It is really fucking just decadent.
I counter that with every time you see Jackie and Eleanor.
Yeah.
Where you see the actual caring in Jackie when something has upset Eleanor. That is amazing to watch as well.
Jackie would kill for her. Jackie would kill for her.
It is amazing. And I've pointed this out, and I hate interrupting on that one, but it's something I've got to point out when I watch these scenes is you have Eleanor with her facial expressions, Lady Mirrorwolf. She's amazing with her facial expressions. Better than I and even R'lyn could ever be. It's just, that's natural about it. But it's the little things you see R'lyn do as Jackie that to me sells the scene. Like when she says, I just reach over and hold her hand. Now, as storyteller, I'll admit I wouldn't have thought of that in the scene. But in the scene, it's a small gesture that sells the scene in a way that shows she really cares.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch it and I go, see, now those are the little things that show she really cares and makes the scene what it is.
And that conversation with Eleanor when she came back with the cards, losing her mind in the conference room, hands down my favorite scene of the whole damn season.
That's the scene I was shocked by a player. I didn't think of somebody using arms of Amram on the tarot deck.
It was
That was
before
impressive.
anybody else came in. It was the scene between Jackie and Eleanor.
Oh, that was good.
Where Jackie flat out said, "You are not broken. You are magnificent."
Oh, she broke my heart when she said that you ever feel like you're you, but not you anymore? And I was like, oh, Jesus, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I love when I play with all the players at the table. I love scenes I've had with Destiny. I love scenes that I've had as Jackie with even Roscoe, because Roscoe's got that like low key sass that he gives to Jackie, and Jackie's about to snatch that fucking chain. But
Better not.
just verbally, she ain't gonna hurt him.
Well, I
She'll
mean,
just make him beg for more.
if all it is a tongue lashing, I mean, he'll enjoy that.
But no, I mean, I love in character playing with every character at this table, and even SPCs. When Abigail's present, I love playing with her. When Philip's present, love playing with him. Haven't got a chance to play with the Anarch players yet. That'll be fun when that comes up. But you know. But no, I just so many good scenes, but those are the ones that really stand out to the top to me, is those really just intense scenes, the ones that show a little bit of the more intimate side between their relationships, the ones that show the real core understanding of each other. That kind of stuff is just so good. It's just so rich and decadent to play out.
And I want to bring up, she brought up Abigail. I need to bring this up before we go any further, before I forget, because I'll forget. The way Ivy Raven, who plays Abigail, the way she goes into a session as a guest player, and I give her a bare framework of things. I literally give her like 3 bullet points about stuff she knows. And she takes that and expands on it and adds to it in ways that make it feel like it's alive, like it's really happening, like she's doing something other than these 3 bullet points I gave her. For a guest player to come in cold like that with 3 bullet points and to sell that you feel she has a life outside of when she's on camera and with the coterie stuff, that's not easy to do. It is a very difficult thing to do and to sell correctly. And I love how she can do it. And I've told her every time she's done it that it's amazing to watch, because I know I can give her 3 bullet points and that's all she needs.
And she will run with it.
And she will make it real and she will sell it.
I love it.
Now you can finish going around. I just had to give her that.
I want to go around now to the guys, and y'all can pick who goes first.
Because I would have forgotten otherwise, but I had to bring that up again because it's been amazing to watch. Come on, guys. Somebody step up.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I will say for me this season, I mean, there are so many scenes that really just stuck out. Anytime, like Relin said, anytime Lamar and Jackie are interacting, be it, with the coterie or privately, there's always I always feel that there's a little bit more, there's more layers to that scene. It's like they're talking here, but there's, more that's building under the surface or is built under the surface. And so it was really funny when people are like, I ship Lamar and Jackie. And I'm like, where did that even come from?
I know. I felt the same way.
We're both like, where did that even come from? But at the same time, it's like, okay, seeing how they interact, it makes a ton of sense. And just, this season, I feel like Lamar has definitely bonded to the coterie a lot more, especially in the wake of Jonathan getting munched by Portia, and with everybody, it's like Lamar and Destiny. The relationship there is, it's like 1 step forward, 4 steps back, and the two of them trying not to hate glare each other while Roscoe's looking at between them like, oh God, please just don't let any blood get on me if it's gonna go down.
Just brutally kiss and get it over with.
And I was just waiting for Roscoe to be like, should I leave you two alone for a minute? soundproof my library. And Roscoe, Eleanor, and Lamar, going to see Ben. I mean, Lamar was ready to put someone in the dirt right there. Like, all Ben had to do was, breathe wrong, and it'd been like, all right, so this has gone from a visit to cleaning up a body. All right. And the cock block scene was epic. I knew something was going to happen, but then the way it happened was just like, I see the math, but I don't see how it got here, but it's still great. But it was a fun time. And then I think the big one though was the guy that came to try to threaten Lamar, and I'm like, okay, Lamar's going to want to kill this guy, but I'm absolutely sure someone's going to stop him. Absolutely. No one is going to let this progress to where it's, where it's going. And Lamar brings it, and everybody just ran with it. And it's like, out of character, I'm like, this is about to happen. They're really going to let this go down. And Lamar's like, any minute now, it's going to be Jackie or it's going to be Destiny. They're going to tell me to put the gun away while they do their thing. And no, he got axed, and everybody was like, so cake. And Lamar's like,
let me make a phone call and clean that up.
and Lamar's like, I love this place.
The beauty of that scene, at the end of that scene, the way that when you're killing this kind who you'd already pulled a gun on, the look of complete impassive faces of all around the table. All the kindred showed you the monsters that kindred are. As soon as you started killing him, all emotion left their face, and they were just like watching it as if they're studying the death of this kind, because it's just one more mortal that it's food. And everyone just was like watching him. And then when he died, everyone just went about their business like it was another Saturday night. And it shows the kindred condition, especially kindred that are Destiny's young but battle hardened. Lamar, no matter how old he is as a kindred, he survived the Sabbat, battle hardened. Roscoe fought in World War I. He's battle hardened. Jackie and Eleanor have been through hell and back, battle hardened. And you see it in all their faces so he's killing him. Cool. I haven't seen anyone choked to death with arms at arm around yet.
Okay. It's between Sam and Roscoe.
Go ahead, Bosco. You first.
All right. Well, y'all stole my favorite scene of all of them. But I really did like the one with Eleanor and Ben, with Lamar there, and all the stuff that went down there. A very close second to those was basically Eleanor in all of her vision scenes. Just the depth that she put into those, just amazing. But aside from that,
I'll agree. That
when I tell her the vision's forced, she changes her face immediately to show the pain. And when she comes out of it, the voice hitch, the ragged breath she takes, though kindred don't technically have to breathe, but to speak, you have to have air in your lungs. So those scenes are, as Mickey has said repeatedly, chef's kiss, because you see how badly it affects her. And then you watch everyone else's faces at the same time, and everyone else's face is pure concern. They can't believe that what she's going through again.
And I also like the scene with Sam. I mean, it's like, what the hell have you brought me into? That was really great. I loved that one.
Knowing he wouldn't back out because it's a lifeline.
Right. Oh, and also not because of that just necessarily, but also because it's Sam.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so you all of you know, and people that have talked to me in Zoom and in the Discord know that I could sit here and gush about my fellow players for hours on end, and if given half an opportunity, I will. Each one of you listed favorite scenes of mine. The one there's two that spring to mind. One is involving me. Well, let me put it like this. One I appreciate as a viewer. One I appreciate as a player. The one I appreciate as a viewer is Loden. When the coterie went and met with Loden, that was high tension, edge of your seat. Holy buck. Okay, we're trying to. I mean, like Lamar's counting exits. Urian's like, or Bosco's like, I got nothing to deal with this.
And if any viewers out there think that the coterie was guaranteed to walk out of that meeting, you don't understand a Shanky game. If they had pushed it, and the scene, the logical conclusion of the scene was one half or all of them being destroyed there, I would have killed the coterie. Just because it's a stream, I do not give anyone plot armor. And it would have been the end of the Chronicle, and we would have been casting a new one. And that is a fact of how I run my games.
But yeah, each, to make this short, each person had, I like to watch the streams multiple times so I can focus in on how each character reacts to the stimuli. As a player, when I was offered this seat at this table, I leapt at it with a zeal that you see in animal documentaries when you see a freaking cheetah taking down a goddamn, like, that's mine. Because these players, these characters are fantastic. So my favorite scene was the conference room scene at the end of the season, when I actually got to sit down and interact with each one of you. And you're 10 pounds of pissed off in an 8-pound sack, and you're just like, all right, motherfucker, you ain't pretty. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm just like, not everyone's cup of tea, but you know what? Everyone loves a little chamomile every now and again. Shit like that. The very first freaking thing Eleanor says to Sam is, tee-hee. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Really? You're gonna, yeah, God damn it. There is a relationship that the viewers are going to see between Roscoe and Sam. It is, I'm going to put it like this. Nobody forced Sam to offer Roscoe a life boon. There is a relationship there that is adamant. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to play out. You could almost see like the friggin' hate between Lamar and Sam, just
but an underlying respect.
Yeah, there's no. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, honored enemy and everything like that, but still an enemy. And then the Bruja made the Ventru slip up. That was delightful for me.
She's worried she's going to say the wrong thing and get her head blown off.
She done already did.
I mean, in case you can't tell, Mickey was really excited to join the cast.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is Timber Brad. He asks for everyone, is there anything that has you feeling uneasy for your character going into season 3?
Oh yeah, I got to hear this.
Lamar.
I'm gonna start with this one.
Okay, you go.
Okay, so don't go to the Succubus Club, and don't, if you see somebody named Portia, just fucking run, because when every single one of these people in unison goes like this, it's just don't go swimming, and don't go. Yeah, what the hell did you get me into, Bosco? What the damn hell, man?
You're going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. Okay, who's next? Let's go with Lamar next, because that was who Verlaine originally named, right?
I mean, there are a few things on the table that I'm like, oh, this could go badly, but Kathy with a K is still out there, and somehow don't think that that's over by any stretch. There's always the dice roll on, Lamar and Destiny. Will it work today? So that's always that's always fun to log in for. It's like, all right, let's do this. But I will say, I mean, the Lupine War, that's also a thing, but the Genghis thing, I will say the Genghis thing is definitely a how's that gonna go? Because if you ask Lamar why he did it, there's the answer he's going to give you is because he was messing with someone from my coterie, but he probably didn't have to take it where it went, and I think that's going to be the big lesson for him next season. Well, a big lesson for him next season, among other things, is it's not the Sabbat. You don't have to always go straight to the big M when it comes down to dealing with these people, and you probably shouldn't. So I'm definitely I'm looking forward to seeing how that shakes out. Not really, but really.
I, as storyteller, my brain did the fuck did he just do? He just fucking threatened to throw down on Genghis. And anyone who knows Chicago understands Genghis has been there a while and has survived a while. And somebody just throwing a threat down on him, you're like, ooh, shit.
Well, let's finish up with the guys. Roscoe?
Well, his biggest concern at the moment is, how he's going to manage the interaction. Sam and the rest of the coterie, how he's going to get them to work together. I know Sam can do it. I mean, absolutely no doubt. But he's kind of off to a rough start, particularly when they start off with, can I smoke in here? Everyone's like, no. And he just lights up anyhow. It's like, yeah, fuck y'all. I'm going to smoke it anyhow.
Do I see a little Tyrus in Sam there going on?
Rebel, 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 rebel.
Aside from that, I got the little demonic problem I have to work out with Sun Chi, and that we saw in the scene with Eleanor and Ben. That's a big one coming up.
That's going to be such a great story.
And that's one, as everyone knows, the players have a lot of input on their story. And the Sun Chi thing is something I've noticed that Lance, as Roscoe, has expressed interest to pursue. So that means expect to see that story coming out more. Because I'll say this about like the Kathy thing. The Kathy became what it was because Gavin, not just Lamar, Gavin said, that's an interesting story. And that's how that went down that path. Roscoe said the same about Sun Chi. So that's the path that's going to be brought up to let him explore that aspect. And I would be worried if I was him too.
Destiny?
I think I'm most worried about the Genghis thread. And probably also going to Winnetka and trying to get him to get information on Sun. Because I feel like the Sun storyline is just, that's going to be problematic. Probably. I'm nervous about that. And I'm nervous about if and when Destiny goes to Winnetka and asks for that information, what kind of boxes and cans of worms are going to be opened by doing that? Because it'll be fine. Nothing will go wrong. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, Shanky up there going, excellent.
Everything's K.
Eleanor?
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah. For both myself and Eleanor, the biggest concern is really that whole thing with Sun. Though, things with the emissary and whatever the emissary is and wherever it comes from, that's a big concern because, yeah, you can bet your ass that's coming back because I want it to, but also it just will. And then throw down with Genghis. That'll be interesting. could be a thing.
Lamar's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, and then poor Lamar.
Hey,
but then
buddy,
Genghis will run his mouth afterwards and the whole coterie will gang up on him. And then
what's going to happen is Destiny's going to be there. And while Genghis is working with Lamar on this whole fighting thing, Destiny's just going to show up and like stab him in the back.
And then
what you do, right?
Duncan McTavish gets involved, and Maldavis
we start
gets
an Anarch
involved.
war on top of a Lupine war. It's fantastic.
And that's how the series ended.
Oh darn, we only made it through 3 seasons.
Actually, Genghis would probably be quite impressed by Destiny sticking a knife in him.
Yeah.
It probably would actually turn him on.
He'd be upset at first, but they would meet a seal of approval from that battle-hardened Anarch that she was a Toreador was brave enough to stick a knife in him.
Yeah.
He would still be upset and would feel the need to retaliate, but it would only be short term.
Anything else, Eleanor, or was that it for you?
Oh, that was basically it. Also,
Okay.
this new guy. I mean, we've got this new guy.
This new guy is so sus.
Yeah, and don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, don't know anything about this rando, but I mean, Roscoe trusts him, so it must be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know about that Roscoe
Just
guy.
wait till Eleanor.
Yeah, that's why I got the tee-hee off Jump Street. Yeah, I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
Just wait till Eleanor does a premonition on Samuel to read him to see what she finds. And
Okay, yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. So there is one thing above all else that Sam is going to make sure does not happen, and that is Eleanor is never going to lay finger fucking one on Sam because he doesn't know how this shit works, but he's seen movies. Fucking Bruce Willis had to touch the cat to freaking get a read on him. Nah, homie, nah.
So what will Sam do if Eleanor just is like hard stare watching?
That would so creep him out.
that'll be episode 2 of season 3.
Noted.
Staring contest.
So for
go.
my character, oh my God.
Don't spoil the stuff we
I'm
talked
not-
about last night.
I don't.
Because that is
You're
a
the
concern.
worst at
Well, no,
spoilers
but
than I am.
That is a concern.
Honestly, my character has a lot that she worries over or feels is threatened or she has anxiety over. My character's got a lot of shit that she internalizes because there's stuff she can't reveal, not even to the coterie. She's in a very tough position. And I mean, she's got a cover she's maintaining and she's always worried that because she has the capability to do some fucking power moves if she fucking puts her mind to it, but she can't. She has to limit herself. She can't take out a Primogen. Even though she could, she can't. Because that would bring too much attention to her and people would start investigating who the fuck she is. And that would lead to other problems. So she can't do that. So she's worried about Sun and how that's going to go down because she can't directly impact that at all. And she doesn't like feeling powerless in protecting those that she feels are loyal to her. So that's a problem. There is also the new guy that's making her very nervous because he is a Bruja that she doesn't know. All she knows is that him and Roscoe obviously know each other from DC or something. They must have fought in the Sabbat Wars together. She assumes. She doesn't know, but she basically doesn't know this guy from Jack and doesn't know what his temperament is or if he's going to be prone to lashing out if she says the wrong thing. So she is very, very on edge around this guy. Then we've got, God, everything. Alexa, finding out new information about her. She is now pulling her child out of that fucking relationship dynamic that's going on where she's building up that rapport with Alexa and a Luke. At least she's going to highly recommend her child pull the fuck out because she's scared to death that her child's going to get got. And because while, yes, it would be bad if Alexa did it, Alexa also could get away with it. So it's an issue. And she's pulling out all her freaking stuff that she does with a Luke at this point because of a Luke's fucking behavior and Alexa being a real fucking threat. And, there's a lot on Jackie's mind that stresses her the fuck out and worries her sick. There really is. She's got freaking 4 dots in composure and she's a master at keeping a straight face. So she just keeps it all inside.
And it worries Verlin, the player, quite a bit too sometimes because she's trying to figure out how to solve all these.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there is no solution. But Verlin is a find a solution player.
I am. So it is sometimes stress-inducing for the player, too, trying to figure out all these puzzles and problems.
Behind the scenes, we have had, as we've called them to Lady Mirrorwith, we've had our heightened discussions about some of the stuff thrown at him. And I tell her ultimately, you need to find a solution or realize that sometimes there is no solution.
Yeah. All right. Next question is the Ivy Raven. Of course, she's the queen of snark. Question for Shanky is it true that Abigail only shows up every 5th episode and that it has to be a club scene?
Okay. I didn't realize.
And Eleanor can't be there.
Right. I didn't realize that was a pattern until she brought it up. And when she brought it up, I was like, wait. Oh, shit. You're right. Damn. Oh, shit. She's right. Fuck. So I endeavor in season 3 to not make that a thing. I endeavor that when you show up season 3, that Eleanor is present, which means if Devin says she's sick that night when you're scheduled, I'm going to have to tell her, look, you're going to have to play sick because otherwise you're making me break my word. I wouldn't do that to Lady Mirrorwith. No. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure. Mickey Edbear had to step away real quick. Q&As are informal and we can handle that. It's fine. He'll be right back. Not all the questions are for him anyway, and we can catch him up. But yeah, I make sure it's not going to happen. That's just the truth. So.
Okay. Next question is from Evan Blade. What is the plot line that most concerns the players going into season 3? I think we kind of just addressed that in that last question, because we kind of dealt with the plot lines that are worrisome to our characters. So, because there's not one major, plot line in our game. That's not the way Shanky runs his games. They are a sandbox, and we have multiple plot threads going at one time.
Real quick, I'll address that. I throw lots of threads at the players.
Mm-hmm.
They choose which ones to follow. They follow the ones they want. The ones they don't want to follow, unless it's a major thread, you'll see it drop to the wayside and not come up that often anymore because it's obvious by the player's actions that it didn't interest them enough. So that's fine. That's why I do it. I throw a whole bunch of threads and then let them pick the ones they want and then interweave that with their story. So I think, yeah, we've covered everything they know about that should worry them. Now, there's things that they don't know about that should worry them, but if they don't know, then.
Okay, and then Ebblade asks again to everyone, do you have any regrets of things you wish you had done differently? I assume that means in character.
Because the whole cast, if you're saying out of character, said they wish they had a different storyteller. Just kidding.
Sam, once he had Bosco in the car, should have just hopped on I-94 South and kept on driving.
So who's going first with that question?
I'll go first. Honestly, I don't really regret anything I've done as Jackie. As I said in the beginning, based on the way we do our session 0, I felt like from the starting gate, I was playing her true to her character. So good or bad, I don't regret anything. Even when she comes off as a heinous fucking snobby French bitch, that's true to her character at times. I mean, that really is. That's one of her defense mechanisms. So, I don't really regret it. I mean, the fact that she just flat out threatened a Luke, she was tired of his bullshit. That's true to her character. So, Yeah. Eleanor?
Same. I can't think of anything that I would do differently because I've tried to be very much in character and do things that Eleanor would do. Even if I don't necessarily understand her motivations until much later when I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I think it's, I don't have any.
I think that Destiny might regret threatening Lamar and saying that she was going to kill him if he ever said anything like that again. I think that Destiny has regrets about that because she doesn't want to antagonize her fellow coterie members. But at the same point, she was very flustered that he even used the word clanless in the same room with her. But as far as Mandy regretting things that Destiny has done and wishing that I had done things differently, no. She's in the driver's seat. I can't control her.
Since Relyn is filling up her e-cig, I'll bump it around to Lamar now.
I think Lamar would definitely have chosen his words more carefully with Destiny, with that whole clanless thing mentioned, because he wasn't in his head. He wasn't trying to be funny, but then looking back on it, he's like, all right, shouldn't have said that. And after Jackie told him that, he's like, all right, well, fuck, all right, I'll apologize when I get a chance. And it's more like he's not gonna, like, tracking her down and trying to apologize to her would probably come across to her as more suspicious than just waiting until there was a moment. So he wasn't going to push that any further, but he's definitely like, okay, in the future, don't do that. Don't antagonize her. He would have called Jackie Jax much sooner so that it would have stuck. And yeah, he would definitely call Jackie Jax much sooner because he likes it. He likes it. He thinks it's a great nickname, but she kind of hates it. And he's like, she hates it, but I like it. But she
might
it,
secretly like it, but she's not going to let you know she likes it.
And now you know why we ship you.
But other than that, stuff that Lamar has done in character, I don't think there's anything I regret. It's more of a there are moments like he should have been more aggro there, maybe a little more aggro there, but he's trying to rein it in for his coterie and prove that he's trying to get, he's trying to be one with the Camarilla. So I think those are things that those are things that I think he doesn't want people to mess with him, but at the same time, he doesn't want people to mess with the people around him either.
Do you regret underestimating that rat?
Okay, I'll take that one. Yes, that rat he should have used the arms sooner. You should have pinned that rat down sooner because, good Lord, that thing.
For anyone who's had a long discussion with me about Bond Familius, the various draughts and what you can do to something like a rat, when you see a lone giant rat come at you, you should be terrified. Gavin, who is a new player to my table, hadn't been on the receiving end of that. If I put a lone rat on Relyn, any character, Relyn knows immediately, don't underestimate, this ain't a rat. If it's one and it's big, Shanky's got a trick up his sleeve.
When I see a rat like that, my characters run. Or open fire if they're capable of shooting a firearm.
Because she's heard the discussions we've had at length in various World of Darkness discussions about what you can do to a rat that ends up with 8 health, 9 health, and toughness.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
All joking aside, no regrets. To Lamar's talking about interactions with Jackie and knowing why people ship them. My dude, you can't spell subtext without sex.
Jesus Christ.
Damn, I gotta use that one.
Write it down. Write it down.
I'll make a note. Kathy will say it. It's okay.
No, I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where Mickey regrets something happening. There's going to be a whole lot of regrets for Sam in season 3, but you got to tune in to find out why.
So Roscoe, I guess, huh?
Only one regret. It was a small slip towards the end there, where he used two unfortunate words. They got misinterpreted. Not that anyone's made anything of it, but no, that really is the only regret, that it was kind of an unfortunate wording, and I really do wish I had said it differently.
You weren't the only one with unfortunate wording in that interaction. So,
and it happens sometimes because we're all human. It's not scripted. If it was scripted, I guess it wouldn't happen, because you'd have writers go over the script, and you'd have the rewrites, and you'd have the inputs and the dry runs where you change stuff. But since it's unscripted, people will say things they didn't intend at the time, or they didn't understand the real meaning and implications of what they say, like the Lamar and Destiny threats.
Okay, so Maddox asked, what is your character's favorite color? Let's start with Roscoe.
Dark red.
Okay, Sam?
OD green.
Okay, Lamar?
Purple.
Okay, Destiny?
Dark blue?
Okay. Eleanor?
Black and violet.
Okay. For Jackie, hers is also purple.
We just ship it harder now, you know.
Sorry,
Yeah,
but it
you're not
is.
helping.
She loves purple. It's a mix of the red and the blue, and she loves that.
Mickey's face just now, like that whole.
And you wonder why you're being shipped.
I'm telling you, the Ventura and La Sombra, especially in this coterie, they are two sides of the same coin. They really are. Okay, and then Ebon Blade says, as a player, if you could scry soul any other player or NPC and avoid being detected, who would you scry, and what would be your first question? Ooh.
Who's going to answer that one first? Volunteers, because everyone's thinking on it. If you have an answer, please come up with it while everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
Is Scry Soul the one where like
you can get answers to questions about them.
And we'll assume it was a critical, because normally you will ask questions when you do Scry School about, are they supernatural? Are they kindred? Have they committed diablerie? But on a critical, the storyteller gives you something unexpected that isn't normally part of Scry Soul. So any question you would have to try to hope to get from Scry Soul,
I got it.
Or Scry Soul, if you could do it, would you? And what is the question?
I got it.
Well, if you have it and everyone else thinking.
Yeah, no. Portia, how is she sustaining herself?
They get away with it is the key point of that one, yes.
Mm-hmm. If I could get away with it, I would do that.
Because that kind of knowledge is immensely useful as a kindred. Especially if you have connections like she does. Because
because that could lead to a team of Justicars coming to take out a fucking Portia.
Because if she is sustaining herself in a way which violates the traditions, or otherwise violates something that the Justicars would find not allowed, action would have to be taken. The tower would not allow it.
That is what I would do. As Jackie, that is what I would do if I could get away with it. Because of what she knows about Portia, she would want to know how she is sustaining herself. Because it ain't through normal means.
I think Destiny would probably try to scry soul Sam. And just, why are you here?
I
and
mean,
get to the root of the actual. I mean, she knows what she's heard. She doesn't know if she believes it.
That fits.
Mhm.
Destiny as a character. It seems in her backstory and her life, it's a little bit too coincidental kind of a thing where you're not sure. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Because she doesn't know and doesn't really believe that bonds like that, friendships like that, really exist. She wants them to, but they're kind of like unicorns to her.
Well, I mean, Eleanor would absolutely scry Sam to try and figure out, because that's just how she is.
Not would,
But
will.
yes,
Jesus.
asterisk will. But if she could get away with it, and there was opportunity, she would scry the hell out of the lake spirit and the emissary. That is like, if there was opportunity and she could get away with it.
I expected you to try it in that scene.
Almost did.
I fully believe that.
I was ready for it.
It's so tempting, I know.
The big red button.
It's the big red button. You want to push it. You just want to push it just to see.
Gotta do it. And Eleanor has this sort of like self-preservation mechanism still there, where sometimes it's like, yes, do it. Here's your opportunity. Do the thing. Even if you fail, it's fine. And she won't, because it's like,
No, really, that's bad.
that's a little bit. I'm not leveled up for that yet. Like, no.
Next ones. Come on.
You know what? For Lamar, it would probably be Martin. And I think the question would be, was the setup for Destiny a one-off, or if you find, like, what would it take for you to sacrifice another Camarilla person to get the child you wanted?
And having done the memoriams, which people will be seeing, it's actually worse than that. He didn't sacrifice a Camarilla person. And we will find out. So, yeah, you'd want to know the depths to which he would go, which is a very good thing to try to find out, honestly, especially because he's tied to your coterie member.
Guess I'm up. Hey, Lamar.
Hey, Sam.
What's up, homie? What's your real game? Because last time I saw you, you were on the opposite side of the line. Suddenly, here you are in my guy's friggin' AO. Yeah, no. What the fuck? What is really going on with you? That's what I 100%.
Tune in season 3.
Yes, tune in season 3.
Yeah, definitely season 3. Some stuff's going to come out. All right, Roscoe, who would you scry?
Hard to choose between two. Portia, obviously, to find out what exactly did she do to Jonathan, and what did she find out? Also, maybe Eleanor. There was a scene that didn't make it into one of our episodes, where had Eleanor left the chess book that she had borrowed at Roscoe's library, where she had bled on it. He wanted to have a look.
Yeah. Roscoe sent me that in a private message. He actually asked me if Eleanor had taken the chess book that she had bled on after a vision, or taken it with her. And I actually asked, I said, did you actually take the chess book? She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, because if she hadn't, he would have used it to walk her blood.
Just for his own curiosity,
sneaky.
though.
So for
Never
anyone who
trust a
thinks-
Tremere.
For everyone who thinks Roscoe, for all of his support of the coterie, isn't sneaky.
Oh,
He's
no.
just as sneaky, but he does it in subtle ways where behind the scenes, he's got his little things he's planning to do.
All right. Ebon Blade asks, what was the biggest surprise to everyone?
I'll answer first. How amazing this fucking cast is at everything I can throw at them. I am pulling no stops. I mean, I'm following consent. That's the rule. I do not violate consent. But everything I throw at them in terms of subject matters of the story, they roll with. And that is the biggest shock to me as a GM or as a storyteller. I know the players will have stock story-wise the biggest shocks, but for me, it's watching how this amazing group of players reacts with each other to everything I throw. Whoever wants to answer first, because I see people thinking.
I got to think on it.
I will say in-game biggest shock, how quickly Delilah got offed, because it was set up, and I'm thinking, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, maybe even season finale. You got to set these kind of things up. No, the very next episode, she was Ash, and I mean, Lamar was like, okay, so don't mess with these people, and Gavin is like, oh, okay, I thought that plot thread was gonna spool out just a little bit longer. No, that was scary.
The way I handled that plot thread is I looked at what you did. You follow it to the logical conclusion. That's how I do all of the things, actions and consequences. And you look at the people involved. Winnetka was not going to lose Martin. He did say that, he does care about Destiny. But Martin, you have to understand, has so many boons owed to so many kindred, including Winnetka, including Cedric, which is Winneka's sire, that Winnetka does not want anything to happen to Martin, because though he owes boons to him, Martin's is owed a lot of boons from other people, which means boons can be traded. How do you think Winnetka owes boons to Martin? Because Martin has done things for him. So he would not allow it to stand, and he would move as quick as possible to ensure that it does not stand. And it gave insight into just how ruthless that Noss in particular is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else got one?
I actually say that was probably my biggest surprise too, truly, was how absolutely efficient that Noss was with getting that shit done. Because that is something from a character perspective. Jackie's like, okay, I figured this would get done. I didn't expect it done this quickly. I'm going to put that in my fucking pocket for future use. Next time an us I'm working with is in danger, go to Winnetka. He'll get that shit taken care of.
For a price.
For a price. But you know what? She's a venturer. She'll trade. Yeah, that was kind of surprising, but it was something that Jackie, while it was a little bit terrifying how quickly it got done and how ruthlessly efficient it was also something that could be in the future very advantageous to have at her disposal.
I think it also was a wake up for Destiny, who had never seen him execute that side of himself. She had known what he was, but had never seen it. Next person, I guess. She got a second scene, or is that the only one for Jackie?
That's the only one for Jackie, really. I mean, there's been some great, interesting scenes, but like true shocking surprise that nailed it. That nailed that true shocking surprise.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't expect that to resolve so quickly either. I expected, like 3 or 4 episodes, kind of like a mid-season, thing, and then nope, but I could get shit done.
I expected the Delilah thread to last half a season.
That's kind of what I was thinking, and then it was no. It's just
but you follow it to the logical conclusion based on the individuals involved, and unfortunately, my plans to have it last half a season did not survive contact with the players.
Yeah, that happens. And then the only other that was sort of like a big surprise, not like different kind of big surprise, was when Ben said, "You weren't here a couple weeks ago, Eleanor. You haven't been here for months." Mm-hmm. Which of course surprised her, but I was also like, "Excuse me? What?" Which was cool.
Yeah, that was definitely unrehearsed reaction. So we've gotten 3 people.
I think Destiny's biggest surprise, not mine, but hers, is that she's still around, that she's not been ashed. People know her secret, and she was told to guard that with her life and to never let that out, because the minute it got out, she would die. And she knows that that possibility is still very much out there, but she was expecting that the minute that anyone found out, that she wasn't going to have the, I don't know how to really, like, it's not trust that I'm trying to say, but like she didn't believe that there would be people that would have her back.
The support structure.
The support.
But yeah, the support. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Had you
She didn't believe that.
Had you had a
was going to
corridor and a
exist.
coterie, would it have, if they found out, would it have ended the same way?
Probably not.
I doubt a corridor in the coterie would have been willing to accept it.
You are so lucky that Jackie has a rivalry with Toreador.
Jackie's like, fuck Toreador.
Jackie is like, fuck Toreador. Anybody can be a Toreador. Destiny proves it.
That was some subtle shade there. I like
and
that.
I've played Toreador.
That wasn't subtle at all.
That wasn't subtle shade. That was that was Persian army shooting arrows. Okay, that's that kind of shade. That
I actually
Right.
love Toreadors. I've played them myself. I absolutely love the clan, but it's just my character really does have a rivalry with Toreadors. Certain ones in particular, the clan just kind of in general. So yeah, the fact that Destiny is posing as a Toreador, as a baneless Nosferatu, basically, I'm like, this is fucking brilliant. This is giving Jackie so much sick satisfaction.
But even if Jackie hated Destiny, I still think she would keep the secret
She
because
would.
she hates Annabelle and what Annabelle
Mhm.
stands for more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Next person. We still got Sam and Roscoe, don't we?
Yep. I'm going to say that the one that shocked me most was the action of one of our players going to see Portia at the Succubus Club, even though he'd been warned. Just do not do that, especially not without the rest of the coterie. It's like, really, dude, you're going to do that? And he did it, and he found out. I mean, that was shocking to me because I didn't expect that to happen.
Actions have consequences, and no
Right.
one has plot armor.
For my character, the biggest surprise for Sam was when he walked into that conference room at Ballard Industries and saw a motherfucking Sabbat Templar sitting at the table. A guy who was a kill on sight, target of opportunity during the Sabbat Wars. A guy who he had thrown hands with, but because of outside interference, excuse me, but because of outside interference, that never got to finish their fight. And to hear no one else batting an eyelash, no one else thinking that something's amiss. Damien wasn't there, so that was like, what the hell? The other thing that was a surprise, in case y'all didn't pick up on it, Sam has not, and hopes to not deal with a lot of Malkavian, or hoped, I guess, is the past tense because now we're here. Had hoped to not deal with Malkavians too much because, crazy folk, he doesn't really know how to deal with that. And so suddenly, oh, okay, you're a Malkavian. Cool. Tight. And she's a what now? She's a seer. What the fuck does that mean? And why does it look like she's having a seizure?
She's smelling toast.
Yeah, that was a highlight for that was definitely a highlight in Sammy's unlife was seeing his first Malkavian premonition. For Mickey, a big surprise was I when I got offered this position, I did not. I had glanced at the Chicago by Night book in the past, and part of me, I was tempted to pick it up and read through it to really get a sense of the characters that I was going to be interacting with. But then I was like, no, don't do that, because then you can have a more realistic reaction. And so learning about this Jason Newberry, there is something about that character that just
Everybody hates Son.
I want to kill that. I want
to. He's well liked by his fellow Primogen.
Yeah,
I bet he is. I'm sure he's got them snowed.
I want to rip him apart, limb from limb from limb from limb. I want to make an example of him.
All right.
Yeah, that's that.
And Evan Blade asked Lady Merwiff, did you plan the tee-hee or did it just happen? And the hashtag tee-hee is actually the creation of Mickey Bear.
But the tee-hees themselves.
Is all Eleanor over here.
Yes. It just happened. It just happened. It was just a thing that happened. And then somebody went ahead and made it a hashtag, for which heart. Thank you. Great. I love it.
It really does adequately describe. For those that don't even understand, that's her hunting type. She created a custom. Lady Merwiff created a custom hunting type because I allowed the players, if they didn't like the ones in the book, if they had a suggestion for something custom, to talk with me and we can work it out. She created one where she hunts by appearing naive, by appearing vulnerable, by luring people in who think they can take advantage of one who is vulnerable and naive. And that's how she lures them in. So what you're seeing with Tee-hee is part of her hunting style.
It's also how she determines who's got good intentions and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The ones who seek to exploit it, you see the other side of her, Ralph, where the Tee-hee was gone.
Yeah, as a viewer, the first time I ever heard that was when I instantaneously was like, there is no character I could make in a million years that would not be objectively terrified the first time you heard that.
Scare
and
roused.
boy howdy, Sam was fucking shook.
And Maddox wants to know if we all have lore sheets or only some. I believe we all have lore sheets. Do you, Sam?
You'll have to find out.
Okay.
You're going to make me look it up. I know in the original cast, everybody had a lore sheet.
Mm-hmm.
The viewers are going to have to find out if it ever comes into play.
Yeah.
Some of us have multiple purchases in the same lore sheet.
Because you can buy multiple dots if you're willing to keep paying the price.
Once you buy that initial purchase from that lore sheet, you can buy other levels of it in a Shanky game.
And all of them are from the various published materials. We use Fantasy Grounds, and I've put every lore sheet that I've managed to get my hands on, which is pretty much all of them, into Fantasy Grounds, including the LA by Night ones. And most of the LA by Night lore sheets really only apply to LA. But there is one that I think is an overpowered lore sheet, but I can see it. The X lore sheet, which allows Eleanor to have rouse-free premonitions. That's not the overpowered part. The overpowered part is if she had already bought premonition and she took it. She would have a rouse check for premonition, but it would allow her to have a sixth discipline because it gives you the power of premonition if you don't have it. So you could pick 5 other disciplines and have that one still, and or 5 other powers in the discipline, which means you could end up with 6 Auspex powers, which is one of the only lore sheets I've seen that allows you to break you only get 5 powers from each discipline thing. That is the X lore sheet, which I got because we spent stupid amounts of money on Dogmite shit.
Okay. Ivy Raven, or the Ivy Raven, I should say, she asks, how does Lamar feel about everyone always eating and drinking around him?
You know what? It gives them comfort. makes them all, I guess, feel better about things. So he's not going to begrudge him that. I do think deep down he's a little envious because he remembers what a glass of good bourbon was like. He remembers what it was like to eat a steak and enjoy it. And it's interesting when you start out human, then you spend decades hearing nothing but humans are beneath us, they're nothing but food, and then you start trying to get back into that whole, okay, got to unlearn what was learned, but he still can't have a glass of bourbon or a steak without wanting to puke it up later. And to him, it's not worth the aggravation. And he kind of wonders how all of them do. But at the same time, it's like, they're all having a toast. Someone's going to have to go ahead and Eleanor can have mine. It's like lava cake. Go ahead and give that piece to Destiny. And so, yeah, for him, he is low key kind of envious. But at the same time, it's like, if it helps them get through the night, have fun with that.
Okay, to all the players except Lamar, what is your favorite drink or food excluding blood? Those that can eat food or drink. Because Lamar is now not the only one.
I am partial to having a shot of Irish whiskey from time to time, but food-wise, I'm going to have to say lava cakes become a favorite.
And I want to clarify real quick on this. The eat food merit allows a kindred to eat. Now, one of the things when you read about kindred is positive things are dulled, negative things, they're slightly dulled, but you feel negative things more than positive things. And the way I look at the eat food merit is most food will taste bland because of the vampiric condition. That's part of the curse. So the things that you will get the best experience from is something ultra rich, or when you go with an Irish bourbon, the burn. Mm-hmm. The flavor is one thing, but the burn is still there. Mm-hmm. You will know you've been drinking good whiskey or good bourbons or good cognac. Lava cake, such a rich decadent. The opera cakes that
is rich and decadent.
Rich and decadent. Mm-hmm. The things that Eleanor brings, rich and decadent. These are the things that the eat food merit would still. It doesn't taste like it was when you were alive, but at least it's got such a richness that it busts through the limitations of your curse. Mm-hmm. So I can see the Irish whiskey because it doesn't hit you like it used to, but it's still got to burn.
Yeah, from Jackie's perspective, she likes the opera cake. It has a sentimental thing for her, but it also is rich and decadent enough that she can actually get a hint of the taste of it. So it helps with reinforcing those positive memories from her life. And then other things, like she tends to, except for in the season finale when she went to the bar to talk to Tyrus, she just grabbed a beer. She had no intention of drinking it. If she was actually going to order something that she would drink, it would be, considering the location, a whiskey, something like that. Or if she's in a nicer place, she'll order a cognac or
Tequila.
something that has a potent burn and a stronger flavor. Spicy foods would be something that she may, if she's actually, posing as a human in a restaurant, she might order something really spicy, something like that she could actually somewhat taste. So.
Yeah, Eleanor likes sweets. Sweets are the thing. That's where it's at. And especially as established rich things, lava cake, anything chocolatey, lots of chocolate, that's real good. She does do the strong drinks as well. But if she had to pick a favorite of anything to consume, it would be sweets.
Destiny's favorite food. So for breakfast, or for when she first wakes up, or right before she goes to sleep, whenever the diner serves it, eggs Benedict. The hollandaise is like ridiculous.
That's really rich.
And that's why she kept taking Sandy to that diner, because of eggs Benedict. And lava cake, obviously, she really enjoys, but it's actually not her favorite food. She just uses it to disarm people because it's lava cake. You can't be angry when you've got a cake that's melting and drooling all over the table.
Hashtag facts.
Yeah, it's true. It's just true. Irish breakfast tea for the warmth on the hands and the really hearty, rich tea. She steeps it probably like 10 minutes. So it's like
Really
all the
bitter.
tannins really bitter, but like really robust. And then red curry.
Probably Jackie, if she had to, if she had to go to a diner or something like that, she would order just a black coffee. Just a pure black coffee. Mm-hmm. All right. And then
I tagged you in one because
I saw that. That was actually the next one up. Voran Dan asks, what other clans are you all interested in playing in future games? I'm not answering that first. Somebody else can go.
I'll go. Okay, fine, I'm going.
You said you'd go.
I did. I feel like I stepped on someone though. Apologies if so. I would really like to play La Sombra at some point. I've played Toreador, love Malkavian, but I'd love to play La Sombra. It's my other favorite. That would be awesome. Also, a very scary gangrel type would be really cool.
Mal.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned to find out what we're
Spoilers.
referencing every time
Spoilers.
this comes up.
That's not a spoiler. I didn't say anything other than the name.
I actually would like to play a Bruja once.
Oh, they're fun.
Mm-hmm. I would like to play a Bruja once. To really be able to let my temper go sometimes and with a character would be really fucking fun. Yeah.
I would like to play Banu Hakim, Ministry, and probably a Toreador at some point.
As I recall, Banu Hakim was on your list of the 3 when you were coming into it.
Yes.
Glad you chose La Sombra because
so good.
It's good story to go with because the La Sombra joining the Camarilla, it adds great to the story. Now, I'm sure Sam has played every clan at some point.
Yeah, I've been playing World of Darkness for a hot minute. I've played. I'm trying to think of one I haven't played. Ravnos. I haven't played Ravnos, but I never will. I played Old Clan Samitsi one time. That was a lot of fun. Just lighting shit on fire and not even batting an eyelash at it because it's my fire, not yours. Deal with it. I like playing Sabat La Sombra to really lean into the just because when you're playing a Sabat La Sombra, it's like you have this bloody pork shank in front of you and you're just tearing into it, and it's delicious, and you can really just devour that role play. I'm trying to in V5, a clan I haven't played a lot, Malkavian. I tend to eschew away from it because I personally take mental health very, very seriously, and if I feel like I can't play something with the seriousness and the respect that it deserves, I will not do it because for aforementioned reasons. And however, getting to see the Lady Merowith playing it so astutely, it's giving me a lot of inspiration. And so perhaps sometime in the future, once I do a lot more research, I'll be able to do that.
And I'm going to say on the Malkavian subject, everyone who went through the casting call has heard my policy on Malkavians. If you bring a fish Malk to my table, I will kill you first session. I know it's the player story, but I have certain rules. And one of them is if you play the fish Malk, the funny, comic relief, goofy Malkavian, I will kill your character because well, first of all, there's this, which is my Malkavian signet ring, which I'm wearing right now. I take the clan very seriously. And as you tell by our outros, mental health is not a laughing matter. It is not a joking matter. And the clan should not be played in a way that disrespects those who have mental health issues. And Lady Mirrowith was, of all the people who applied, the one who was chosen to be allowed to play a Malkavian, because she was the only one that I felt approached it in a way that had an idea and a way that wasn't going to be a fish Malk. Now, there was other players who mentioned it on their list, but none of them came to me with an idea of their character and presented it like she did. And that told me that she could do it because she had a proper idea, one that I knew was not going to be problematic. So we get the last two, Roscoe and Destiny. This is going to be the interesting ones.
Do you want to go ahead, Destiny?
Well, since I'm technically not really playing any of the clans right now, all of them, I guess.
I will be honest, I'd love to see you play an actual Nos.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that would be fun.
That would be brilliant.
And maybe an actual Toreador too. Let's do an actual Nos, an actual Toreador, and then I'll start branching out into all of the others.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Good place to start.
Can I caveat off that real quick? Toreador often has the same problem that Malkavians do, is people latch on to one singular aspect and beat it until it's there's nothing left but friggin' wet dirt. And Mandy, if seeing you play your character the way that you do, if there is one person who I believe would not do that, and especially having talked to you, and sort of your background and everything like that, and your ability to actually freaking dissect the nuance of a character, excuse me. Yeah, play a Toreador and play that shit bloody as all hell.
Yeah, I agree.
Stick a knife in them, Toreador. Stick a knife in them, right in the kidneys.
Make art of your murder.
Oh, that's horrifying and amazing.
It is.
Oh, yes.
They are monsters. They are fucking scary. Yeah.
Toreador serial killer.
Yes.
Yeah. Murder as a performance.
Oh, I love it.
I played a Toreador who was never able to get the right shade of red.
Yeah.
The art of killing is an art form.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roscoe?
Well, one of the other choices I had for Windy City was the Sombra. I played Steve. It was a Kaitif who found out he was of the Sombra blood, but he didn't suffer any of the consequences of the blood. I would like to explore playing one that has the full spectrum of powers and problems.
Yeah.
With that drive that the La Sombra have, that would be I'm not going to lie, that'd be very interesting to watch Urian play.
Yeah, because with your demeanor, that would just be chilling.
Yeah, because they are the driven.
That would
they
be
don't
chilling.
accept failure. They don't accept to be less than the best at, maybe not everything, but what they choose to do, they choose to be the best at it.
Yeah,
they can't stand not being the best.
That would be fucking just terrifying.
La Sombra is one of my absolute favorite clans because anytime you get the chance to role play as one, you have a role play banquet in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so goddamn delicious. Sorry.
Okay, and of course, Maddox made a joke. If you say Beckett 3 times in a mirror, will he appear in Chicago? No, absolutely not, because I've been asking Shanky to put Beckett in a game for me since DC, and he's never fucking done it, and he never will.
If I do it, we know who's going to play Beckett. His name is Maddox.
But would Beckett seriously ever come back to Chicago after what happened with Portia?
Maybe, because it's Beckett. And his quest for knowledge will always override his self-preservation. So there is possibilities. But for those who haven't been on our weekly Zoom calls we do with the Discord community, join the Discord and you can jump in and meet cast members and just the community in general. Maddox here looks like Beckett.
He looks like Beckett.
When he puts his sunglasses on and he leans in at the camera with the dark around him, he is fucking Beckett.
Yeah.
And he's got to roll as Beckett. If Beckett is in my game at some point, he will be doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that is all the viewer questions.
Gonna have to go before too long
yeah.
But I want to hear players' questions about each other because I'm sure there are some somewhere in here. Do you have, because somebody's got a question they want to ask their fellow players they haven't got to yet.
I've got about 10 million of them, but the problem is that season 3 is a thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not just time. Season 3 is a thing.
And we got to get to it. Yeah.
And I can I can ask those questions and get answers to them by a role play, which I think would be the better the venue for that.
That's a good point. So,
scariest member of the coterie.
You see, that's the thing is each person is terrifying in their own way.
Yeah, it depends on what angle. If you want, don't cross because bad things are going to happen to you, Jackie. If you want, don't turn your back on her because you don't know what she's going to do to you, Destiny. You get a knife in your back. If you want, don't come around with any secrets you don't want someone to know about, Eleanor. Because she will the big red button, she'll push it. You know, if you don't want someone to know where you are, stay the fuck away from Roscoe because illuminate the trail of prey is terrifying if you don't want someone to know where you're hiding. And he's demonstrated he has it. It's not a ritual every Tremere has, but holy fuck, you can't hide from it. There is no defense other than not leave a trail by not going anywhere. You know, for Lamar, Lamar is not the one you're scared of for him. You worry about the execution. You worry about what he's going to set up and plan that he's not doing. Because he'll have an alibi. He'll be like, what? I was here the whole night. Everybody saw me. But he will have set up a series of events that you just got caught.
And Sam is the unknown.
Sam is too unknown yet.
We don't know, and that makes him terrifying.
But with all Bruja, watch the temper.
Yeah.
Because they are known to be passionate, like with Genghis, where you saw the joking and the his demeanor
he's like, yeah,
shift.
Sam's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, he's a fucking Bruja.
Because
Sam
everyone
is a sweetheart. He has a heart of gold. He
no.
I ain't buying
hits
that
rainbows.
shit you're selling.
He
Genghis
shits rainbows
was
and
a
pisses
joker.
excellence.
Genghis carries on and gets discounted because of the fact that he doesn't seem to take it seriously. He's poking fun at a lot of different things. Sometimes he acts like a fool. But the moment Lamar threatened him, all of that disappeared immediately. And you saw the actual Genghis, the passion of, did you just threaten me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is how I respond to blatant threats. I'm going to respond in kind.
Yeah,
because the passion runs in him.
Don't worry about that too much, Gavin, because you got a new verb in your freaking lexicon.
It's a Sam.
Yep. So each of them, it depends on what you're considering scary at the time. United, you should be afraid in general because the way this coterie works together and each one has deficiencies that someone else covers. And when you put it all together, you end up with a rather frighteningly competent group of kindred.
Because they are ancillary.
Well, not just that. It's the way the characters have meshed. And it goes back to something I've stated from the beginning that not a lot of kindred go into coteries. It is the one advantage that the players have over most of the SPCs and the other people in the city is, whereas most kindred are independent about their allies or they have temporary allies, temporary friends, they don't form coteries. So in a lot of situations, you can get it down to 6-on-1 with this particular coterie because you have 6. But, 4-on-1, 5-on-1. With the coterie, if they can be unified, they can present a bigger threat than you will ever see out of these individuals because no matter how connected Kevin Jackson is, he's got a lot of power, but he's one kindred. And his power is built on him, not on his coterie. Because though the Chicago book says the government's a coterie, they're not. They are a coterie only because they're the government.
They work against each other
Right.
all the time.
There is no real love or loyalty other than I'm going to be loyal to you as long as it keeps me in power.
And that was something that from the very get-go with my character, that was her motivation with this group of kindred that she did not know, was to get them unified. They may not always get along, but when shit hits the fan, they're going to fucking lock arms, create a unified front, and attack it head on. That's basically what her goal was. And through not just her own actions, but everyone's actions, because everyone seemed to end up getting on that same page, that we have created that. And now we just have to implement a new member to replace the one that fell.
Yep, got to integrate him and roll him into the rest of you, which is going to be great story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, time for Sammy to get jumped in.
So other questions from the cast members for each other, because that was I like that one.
I thought I saw something in the chat about Fang Bang, Blood Mary, Ash.
Oh, Bang Bang Blood Mary Ash.
Yeah, we were skipping that one, but now
we
we're
were
going
skipping,
back to
but
it.
we'll go back to it. That's fine.
Okay.
Just coterie.
It can be Coterie or it can be SPCs.
Okay, wait a minute. Does the storyteller get to play this game?
Yes. Storyteller starts it.
Oh, God. Okay. See, it's a dangerous one because there's nothing good about Blood Mary. That is a horribly abusive, dysfunctional relationship.
That's mutual bonding. That's not love.
I would be an idiot if I told my wife it was anything other than Fang Bang. Because, well, beyond that, her character for Jackie, we'll leave the players out of it. For Jackie, Fang Bang. Goddamn, she was a courtesan. Holy shit. She knows more tricks than most of these people, these days, have forgotten. Or she's forgotten more than they've known. God damn it. You get some Fang Bang in there and you're just going to rock your world and you won't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Eleanor, yep, Fang Bang. Because the crazy ones are the most fun. As someone who is a Malkavian, in real life in a lot of ways, there's something about being scaroused a lot that's a lot of fun. Destiny, kill. Can't trust her. She'll stick a knife in my back, literally in my kidney. Because she's got a youth's temper still.
Mm-hmm.
For Destiny, I'm not talking Mandy. Destiny has a youth's temper. And I would say something or do something, and just like she threatened Lamar, her response would be bad news. Roscoe, sorry, you got to die, bud. You could find me too much. Illuminate Trail of Prey, you got to die. I can't have you knowing my secrets and finding me. Plus, you're Tremere. And, you're Serper. Got to go. Sam? God will Blood Mary his ass. Because if you're going to Blood Mary somebody, you want the one that's
a powerhouse,
able to solve the things you're not able to. And if I was a kindred, I'm not the fighting type. And I would want to get that fighting type to make sure firmly in my thing. And as for Lamar, Fang Bang Lamar. You know why? Because he's dangerous and he keeps getting these women around. And that's a checkbox that you check off and go, yeah. Hey, Kathy, you didn't get this. I did. And that's the petty side of Bill. So there you go. There's from the storyteller. Everyone else is like, what do I say?
Okay, so am I next or who's next?
You
go next.
I'm
Rylin's
next.
next.
Oh, okay, I'm next. Great. We're just going to create a scandal up in here.
And you've got to say about the storyteller, too. You got to include that in the pile.
Oh, storyteller? Kill that motherfucker.
Valid.
And from the character perspective, yeah, no. Kill that motherfucker. He does some
Valid.
twisted shit. From the player, all of the above.
Depending on the day of the week.
Depending on the day of the week. From Jackie's perspective, Eleanor, Blood Mary. Truly. Destiny. Use then kill. Roscoe, kill.
Aren't you glad you called me in, buddy?
Yeah, man.
I got your back. Because
need your
apparently
help.
everyone wants to fucking murder you.
Sam. Bang bang. Because passionate. That's fucking fun. And then Lamar. Well, she's never tried La Sombre. She'd bang bang that. Now Eleanor.
Well, absolutely Jackie Blood Mary. Unironically. 100%. And probably Eleanor would just fang bang, fang bang, fang bang, fang bang.
You left the
Ash
storyteller
the storyteller.
out. Ash the
The
storyteller.
storyteller, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that,
Ash the storyteller, take the storyteller's place.
I have a feeling the storyteller's going to get ashed by everybody, but I deserve it for some of the shit I do.
But yeah.
Okay, so Destiny?
Eleanor's not one to ash people.
Ash the storyteller. Sorry.
It's valid.
Am I
I
muted?
deserve it.
I'm not muted, right?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Okay. Ash the storyteller. Kill Jackie. Kill Eleanor. Blood Mary Roscoe to get access to his blood sorcery.
Okay.
Fang Bang Sam. Blood Mary Lamar to get access to Oblivion. And the killing for the girls is really just purely because mommy issues and yeah.
They're old and powerful.
They're old and powerful, and it's dangerous to have them around. And they know her secret.
Okay.
And she doesn't know enough about their secrets to use it on them yet.
Roscoe?
Well, obviously the storyteller would be ashed instantly. Just because.
I'm making notes of this, everyone at this table, just so you know I'm making notes and, I'm going to get mine. Oh, wait a minute. That's why I'm getting ash. Never mind.
He does that anyway, so it's not changing anything.
Right. I mean, the storyteller and Bill, too. I mean, just cause. Jackie? Oh, man, it's a tough decision between Fang Bang and Ash. Maybe both.
He's going to Black Widow her. Got it.
Yeah.
Praying Mantis time.
Eleanor? Blood Mary, because of the tee-hee. Destiny would have to be ashed because I don't know what to make of her. She's a little sus. Sam, Blood Mary, because he's my bro. He's got my back. I know what I got with him. And Lamar? Man, that's going to have to be, another Fang Bang than Ash.
Gonna have to make sure that Camp Wishing Motherfucker Wood doesn't get a chance to
Yeah. Yep.
Because when you've been kindred long enough, and, sexuality and gender is less of a concern because if you just stick with one when you're an old kindred,
you get
it's
bored.
Boring. It's a fact.
Jackie's done a lot. She gets bored pretty fucking easy now.
Damn, she can teach you something.
Mm-hmm.
So Shanky gets Fang Banged because if you've been in a Zoom chat, you know how much I
You're so thirsty for my husband.
How much I yearn for that man.
At least somebody wants me.
Jackie, Sam would never kill Jackie because, Theo Bell did that the hardest dot. Doing that now, it's been done. You got to tread new territory. So I would blood marry her to solidify a political alliance between Camarilla, Bruja, and Ventrue.
Smart.
Yeah. Eleanor, yeah, you're getting fucking murked. Just.
He says, fuck that cinnamon roll.
For one reason and one reason only, and I'm pretty sure it's the same reason as everybody else, because you can see shit that I don't want light being shed on. And light is not a healthy thing for kindred. So, yeah, get thee back, devil woman. Destiny. Spoilers. Oh, Roscoe, my man.
He's not going to answer the Destiny
No,
because
he's
you don't want
not.
to give it away.
Bosco.
Now
my
I'm like
man.
worried he's got this overarching like kill Destiny plot line that he wants to do this next season. Oh God.
Not that he's brought up to me yet.
Nah.
First off,
Yet.
you can alleviate that fear. That's not no. Roscoe, my man, I got you. I don't care, big spoon, little spoon, just as long as we're holding each other. Lamar, I'll climb that mountain.
Something about the dangerous men, isn't there?
Oh, it's not even that. Just that smile. It's such a sweet smile. Oh,
And you want to hear what one-liners he comes up with afterwards.
I just want to be the one to put that smile on his face.
He'll tell you you'd be a piss poor lumberjack if you can't calm that tree when it's laying down.
Yeah.
Making a note of that one.
Got you.
Fang Bang, the storyteller. Because just the excellent brain. Definitely Fang Bang, the storyteller.
He's getting brownie points.
I can be bribed, but not.
Yes,
not
you
in
can.
Yeah, with Jackie, Fang Bang Jackie. Jackie is someone you keep around for centuries, so you can go, man, remember that time when? And you keep the Lasombra Ventrue union has to keep going strong. Also, same with Eleanor, Fang Bang, the precious cinnamon roll, and yeah, definitely keep her around as long as possible. Fang Bang, then Ash Roscoe, because that eliminate the Trail of Prey. You got to go, man. After I get it, you got to go. The Bruja, it's going to come down to a coin flip that day. It's like that night. How lucky do you feel? And
Do you
it's
feel
probably
lucky, punk?
and it's going to come down to Fang Bang and Ash. As for Destiny,
You're Daisy if you do.
Blood Mary, because I don't think anything would put a smile more on Lamar's face than I don't know if it's mutually assured destruction or if it's it's probably mutually assured destruction.
Oh, it totally is.
Could you see where the path that one would end up?
It totally is. Oh my fucking God.
The story would be amazing, but it would be horrifying as well.
It would be. Oh my God. Martin would destroy you both.
No, Martin would destroy Lamar
Yeah.
and then never let Destiny live it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Destiny would destroy Martin
Yes.
for just railing on her constantly about it.
Yes.
No. Martin would destroy Lamar and then lock Destiny in her room for the rest of her life and never let her leave is what would happen.
That is exactly what would happen. She would become his prisoner.
I don't think so. I think Martin would kill Lamar and never say a fucking word.
Destiny would find out though.
Destiny, now that she knows what she knows about him, would suspect immediately. Immediately. Destiny's already going to suspect if anyone does something to her and then they just disappear. She's already going to suspect because of the season finale.
And Junie just nailed it. Lamar totally hits and quits.
Hey, he's Catholic. I will refute that. That man is Catholic. and he takes his vows seriously even after he breaks them. Slight spoiler for next season.
Just like he takes Graves very seriously.
Maybe Ravens of Destiny would wake up with a chastity belt on her and just yell, Martin.
Welded to her. Actually, Martin would get his Amici to make sure the chastity belt can't be removed.
No, he just nope, not
Nope.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. Moving
We
on.
are done. Okay, so Shanky, talk us out.
Okay. Thank you all for coming to this, and I'm going to say this again. Thank you to this wonderful cast of players. Thank you to our wonderful guests. This show would not be possible without the people who play with me. I am just a storyteller, and without this amazing cast, no matter what tricks I do, it wouldn't be good to watch me by myself. So without this cast, we couldn't do what we've done. We couldn't deliver the engaging content. And without our guest players, which add a little extra to the table, a little shake up so that it's not always the same 6 people, none of this would be possible. And without the viewers, of course, none of this is possible, because if we didn't want to share our story, we would just make it a Zoom game and be done. And we'd get to play a lot more often because we wouldn't need season breaks as often. But that's the truth of that. So thank you all for coming, and we had some good questions. I think this last one, the Fang Bang one, was interesting because
It gave some interesting perspectives from
the character's point of view. It gives you insight as to who their character is, and I like that. Of course, if you like what we're doing here, you can give us a follow here on Twitch. If you really like, you can give us a subscribe. If you watch it on YouTube, you can subscribe for free on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell people that like vampire stuff about our stream, because we love sharing it with everybody. Bits and donations do not go to Relin and I. Subscriptions go to the channel. Bits and donations go to the players. And we're not doing this for money. Nobody will ever make a lot of money off this, but it lets them get Starbucks once in a while, maybe, kind of, could be. Or if you're some of the people here, they just donate it back so that we give out gift cards, or they donate it to the breast cancer charity when Relin runs a breast cancer game, and it goes back to other needing things and helps out. You want to check out good content, check out our friends. The viewer of XP for the final season finale. I'm going to say this now. Everybody gets one because I don't care what the viewer vote was for the season finale. Everyone had such amazing scenes, and it was such an episode of love going into the final season, or episode of the season, that everyone deserves one more for that. And you should go pop over to our Discord, everyone. Even if you're not one who likes to chat a lot, we do casting calls for our shows from the Discord. So Relin just closed one for Monster Hearts 2, which is coming up.
Yep, and Tiss is currently looking for guests for her Call of Cthulhu game. She has 3 episodes that she's wanting to bring in a guest each for, so she's taking casting applications for that.
Yep, and Ravnos Archon, who is the latest person to become one of the McStabber streamers. He has his own channel. He's in our friends list, but he's also going to be running a mage game. He'll be doing casting about mid-May. So if you want to play an 80s like Miami Vice era mage game set in Miami, Ravnos Archon's going to be running one. He's going to be looking for cast. And so casting couch is where that'll happen. And it's only open to the Discord members, because that's one of the things we do to give back. And also, as you've heard mentioned, we do weekly Zoom chats where anyone in the Discord is invited to join in the Zoom, no camera required, and just talk with the community, talk with people who are in games, running games. The subject matter goes all over the place. It's adult, risque at times. It's also, at other times, it's very deep and philosophical. It's everything. It's risque because of Mickey Bear down there, who always is lusting after me, apparently.
And I was just going to say, and then Mama McStabber says, "Stop flirting with my husband," and my response to that is, "No."
Well, and it also gets risque as both Relin and I flirt with Devin.
Yes.
With Lady Mirroway. Because, I know I'm getting sent to the shed. It's fine. I'm fine with it. It's a compliment in my case.
Yeah, and Maddox.
And Maddox, yeah.
Because he looks like Beckett.
Maddox does look like Beckett. So I'm going to let Relin do the schedule, but I'm going to go over this. Actually, I might as well do the schedule because I know what's coming up and I want to talk about something in particular.
Yes. Go ahead.
This week, because of Tamshu is out at the moment for taking care of himself and taking care of some things. He's got to recover and do his thing. We have no streams this week during the week. Now, Saturday, we are doing a special stream because the Call of Cthulhu are doing their Session 0 offline. I am going to run a stream Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern of OBS configuration for TTRPG streams. So if you've wanted to figure out how you can stream your own TTRPG and how to configure OBS to do it and the setup needed and how to configure all that, I am going to do a stream on that subject because there's a lot of guides to teach you how to run a stream that is a computer game, a video game, or a console game. There are no real good guides on how to set up for a TTRPG stream. So I'm going to do a whole stream where I start with a blank OBS configuration and walk everyone through it step by step on how McStabber Studios does it to show you how it can be done. So I think that's an important one. We've get enough questions about how to do it.
How do I do this? How do I do that? Yeah.
So
what do I need?
We're going to share that.
Yeah.
And then next Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, the first of the memoriams, where you're going to see slices of events in the past of this coterie that were pivotal in shaping who they became. And you're going to see it from their point of view as it's a memory of their past. But you will also see a lot of familiar faces because with any memoriam, the beast likes to throw people from your present in with the past. So I will say we recorded those Monday. It was 6.5 hour marathon recording for not close to that amount of content, but it was, we had 10 people that rotate through. It was an amazing, overly ambitious thing to try to do. And I think it came out great because everyone who was involved in it came away going, I can't sleep tonight because of what we just did.
And meanwhile, I had a huge adrenaline crash about 2 hours after we finished where I passed out and slept like a damn baby.
She was one of the lucky ones because I can name at least 3 people.
Because it literally
in this,
just dumped.
I can name
all my
3 people
adrenaline.
right now in this stream that flat out said they couldn't sleep. That's one of them. There's the second one. Here's the third one. So it was that good. So I do thank you all for this, and I thank you for coming. Does anyone want to add anything before I go into our Chops outro? Platform's open for anyone who has something they want to say.
Thank you all, seriously, for the great questions and for tuning in and watching our stream. We absolutely love meeting together on Monday nights to play this game together. It is so much fun. This is one of the best groups that I've ever played a vampire game with. And it's legit. We make magic happen week after freaking week after week. And I'm so glad you guys enjoy it, that it is engaging for you, that you get invested in the stories, that you have favorite characters that you like and favorite SPCs that you like and some that you don't like and you like to throw hate on. And that's funny too. So, it's wonderful, the engagement that we get from you all, and are just so happy that you're enjoying the story we're telling.
I would like to thank my fellow players for welcoming me to this table and with open arms. My actual premiere was the second or third game that I got to sit in for and watch the recording. And yeah, guys, watching these people in the moment, watching it happen, and it's amazing.
It's so hard not to spoil for a week.
Or more for the memoriams.
Yeah.
The show will begin and it will end.
Tune in to see what happens between the two.
Anyone else want to say anything as we're closing out our season 2?
Thank you all for thank you all for being great, letting me be a part of this. And also thank you to all the viewers for showing up every week and showing up in the Zoom calls and just enjoying what we're putting out. I really like it, and I really love being able to tweet about it and tell people about it. So thank you.
We are so happy you joined us, that you got tricked into applying.
You were
totally got tricked into applying.
Okay.
Anyone else? Or are we good? I would like to send out a personal thank you to Combustion Girl, because Combustion Girl has designed our movie style posters that's in our merch store. She's helped us. Actually, she's done it on her own. No compensation. She didn't want compensation to help create some of these amazing things that we have in our merch store and in the break videos and everything. And I want a personal thanks from McStabber Studios itself and Shanky, specifically me. And as you can see, Relyn is also thanking for the effort that Combustion Girl has put in as an amazing person to help out. And we're glad to have met her. And I also would like to do a personal thanks to Lady Mara here, who's drawn the sketches that we have for the hand-drawn sketches.
And who brought Combustion Girl to our community.
Mm-hmm. And who drew the very first Shanky art that I've ever seen. And then designed a Ya Boy Twitch, which is a signature character of mine. So I wanted to personally thank the both of them, because it's not something you had to do. It's something you chose to do, and we thank you for it, because, you know, that's important to us, that somebody that you chose to spend your time that you could have spent doing anything. And you gave to the community.
We're just so happy that you're inspired by our passion project that you want to contribute to.
Mm-hmm. And in the immortal words of Chops, and I've mentioned this earlier, please, mental health, it's no joke, it's no laughing matter. Please check in on those around you, check in on your friends, check in on your family, check in on loved ones. Even if you don't really like the people, please check in on them, because don't assume everyone's okay, because right now a lot of people aren't. And hopefully you could be the one person to reach out to them, to show them that somebody else cares and can help them get help, because we can't do this alone, everybody. As we said, the coterie is stronger together, and the same applies to everybody else. And if you are somebody who suffers from mental health, like myself, and like many others in this community, please don't hesitate to ask somebody for help. Please don't hesitate to reach out to a professional or even to a friend, because sometimes you can't bear it alone. And as you can see in our chat right now, if you're watching this on Twitch, a whole bunch of numbers and contact points just came up. These are all places you can contact in this case. So,
sorry we duplicated. Bill put it in after I did.
Yeah, sorry, it happens. But please, it's not a laughing matter, and there's nothing wrong if you need help, because we all need help at some point in our life. Nobody can bear the weight of everything by themselves. And thank you all for coming for the final Q&A of season 2, and I hope you're ready for season 3. We've got some interesting stuff coming. The next 2 Sundays are memoriams. The one after that is going to be a live stream called The Story So Far, where I summarize the first 2 seasons to give a quicker way for people
You're
who are
doing
new
that
to
one
catch
on the
up.
30th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the next one. The next one's your storyteller and GM talk.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. On the 23rd of May. That's right. We are having a special stream on Sunday of storytellers, dungeon masters, and game masters meeting together. We have 7 signed up right now for it, a full panel to talk about our own styles, how we run games, the differences in streamed versus tabletop, or table games versus Discord run games, and to give a wide range of not only how we run the games, but experience running games. It'll be another Q&A type session where we talk about it and answer questions from the viewer. So yeah, that's a big one. So yes, the 30th will be the story so far. And that means we will return for season 3 officially on June 6th. That'll be episode 1, season 3.
Yep.
And I hope to see you all here for it, because some bad shit's coming.
D-Day.
Good
Yep.
shit's coming. Good
D-Day,
bad
we're
shit.
coming back.
So,
Or should we say V-Day?
V-Day.
Ah.
so thank you all. And it's been a blast. And I love this community, and I love the table and the guest players. So from McStabber Studios and this wonderful cast, good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.